You see us live, or you see anything yet?
Yeah, I see people.
You see people, but is it live on the channel? I probably have to push it. I don't see anybody saying anything in the chat. It's been a minute now. All right, I'm gonna just hit go live. All right, we should be live now. It's saying that it's not. Oh, somebody unplugged the goddamn. Oh, fuck. Somebody unplugged the internet. Motherfucker.
That's how there you go. For the first time. Because I remember you said, I was like, I don't fuck goofy like that. You but here's the thing though. You heard that's cool. But here's the thing. When we go to that sector, have I been like, oh, my list? I've been ready. You did that the week before. Well, I was ready when we went across the board. That's how that stuff. I'm good. This year, sometimes this year, I kind of that's how I was getting older. Yeah, this shit is like that. I can't even like all these really juice. I drink apple juice. I drink apple juice. Man, the rest of the for what's that do? I do apple juice, I do cranberry. I do one.
Can't do nothing.
I dilute that shit.
Pineapple
like
juice is the greatest.
Really?
I
got acid reflux real bad.
No.
You can do citrus and all that?
I'm not supposed to.
Got you. So you can't
I
fuck
stay
with
away from citrus because I eat so much hot stuff. I figure I cut one on my own. Nigga logic.
What kind of?
Nigga logic.
What kind of? You like spicy food?
Both, huh?
You like spicy?
I love spicy food.
Really?
Absolutely.
I ain't know that.
Every time I fix something,
You ain't too hot. Your chili wasn't even hot.
That wasn't hot to you.
Nah.
I had habanero peppers and jalapeno peppers in there.
So, yeah, I thought you. I don't know if I thought it was mild. I thought you was just like because you like.
I was.
That's why you offer. You know, most people don't offer hot, stuff like that.
Huh? I might spice it up.
But I didn't know. Yeah, no. My mama used to love spicy food.
Really?
Like she always, cause like she used to eat it a lot just to help with her sinuses and stuff.
Yep.
Cause it opens up all your pores. But like some Indian restaurants that had the levels and shit, she would always get like 3, 4.
Give me 3 or 2. 3 will fuck you up, but 2.
She used to go up to 4. She ain't never fucked with 5, but that 4 would be like, bro.
Damn. Man, I got a coworker that put. I'm talking about like the hottest peppers I ever had on everything.
Some ghost pepper shit.
Gee, I don't know what it is. It's something from some. They got foreign language on it. Hey, can you hand me that?
I don't like too much spice though. Cause I like to be able to flavor. Like that's why I like doing that. Watching Hot Ones and shit. I found like a couple hot sauces that I like. That's perfect.
Thank you.
That's all I be having now.
Yeah. I couldn't. I put something. She eat on pancakes. Like I'm like, who eats this on pancake?
Pancake hot sauce on pancakes?
Yes.
Ghost peppers, man.
That's nuts.
And I'm talking about it's ridiculous. I tried it.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me see what this is. Man, it's ridiculous. I'm like, you can't taste nothing but fire.
Dang.
But at the same time, the same coworker ate one of those. You know them chips that you can order?
The one chip.
The one chip. She ate it like it was nothing.
She ain't had no backlash, nothing.
Nothing.
Man, I seen a nigga cry off.
I did too.
At work.
I did too.
This white boy thought it was a game before me.
Cried, right?
And it hit him. He was like,
you can't just eat that.
Like it was on Zoom, and you be like, he hit his camera, he come back like eyes all watery.
Yeah.
This was from like a chip,
Just a bite.
corner.
Yeah.
Just one bite.
Yo, it's one chip.
Cause he was low.
It's like a
He thought it was
Dorito.
like
Dorito.
You know how those white dudes do.
You got to eat it with gloves and everything.
Yeah.
You can't just eat it.
Fuck
You got to have
yeah.
gloves
Why am I
on.
eating it then?
It's like
It's a
hot
challenge.
dog shit. It's
just a
it's like
challenge.
a corporate.
You're not eating it for food.
It's the
You're
white
eating
boy
it.
challenge.
Yeah, white boy shit.
Yes, that's pretty much it.
You do it for like morale and shit. Oh, you can't eat this, Billy. Oh, let me try it. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Give me.
Speaking of challenge, we still gotta do that rib challenge.
Yes, absolutely.
Real challenge.
Yeah,
He told me he cooked ribs in the air fryer.
In the air fryer. I mastered air fry ribs.
Dang.
Oh, that's possible.
I mastered air fry
Oh, the air
ribs.
fry is amazing, though.
Bro, you can bake a cake in that motherfucker.
You can do anything.
I'm not baking one. Hell no, I ain't go that
Have you
far.
seen somebody do that?
Not in real life. I just seen on like YouTube and shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got it on YouTube.
But I got my own sauce and everything, bro.
Like 2 weeks. Yeah, we do it. Season started in like 2 weeks. We do it for football.
Yeah, I gotta get Kamani because Kamani talking about some. He said he got the best brisket recipe in the.
He got some good ribs. I don't know about brisket. Kimani so extra.
Well, I'm a judge.
Extra. Bet.
Yeah.
We do that.
All right.
Kimani's so extra, so yeah, he got a whole mouth.
Echo. What echo? Y'all, I just got up here. All right.
Now,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where would the echo be coming from?
drink more water. Hot sauce on the pancakes was nasty. I'm telling you, I
nuts.
I'm talking about no syrup, just straight hot sauce in pancakes.
Shit,
I'm like, what? Where y'all hear echo at? It's everywhere.
Oh, shit. I know where it's coming from. Hold tight. I got it.
Ken said, hold tight, he got it.
That's good.
Ken is the smartest figure outer I ever met in my life.
Figure out.
Yeah, you'll figure some shit out now.
Yeah, man. That I will do.
Seen it already done. 6 seconds.
Did you see the other part to it? He didn't even read the whole. He didn't even read the whole essay. He about to turn in the damn assignment. He read the whole essay.
fast and get a 50.
The teacher circle where he fucked up.
Are you sure you're done, people?
Yeah.
Read the direction.
Yeah.
So the 4 hot seat coaches.
Probably the same.
Yeah, they say audio clear now.
Did you see that Targaryen thing? That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I was looking at when you was checking it out. I had to watch it twice. I
ain't watched it for the second
You watched it
time.
for the second time?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Did your
tomorrow.
captions work?
You know what? I ain't even cut them off.
I have to watch captions when I'm watching it.
With what? House of Dragons?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Did you
Did
watch
yours-
it with
Oh, yeah, I watched it. I
yours
watch
work?
everything with captions, though.
Did yours work?
Yeah, it worked.
I was just fucking up, man. I can barely hear them niggas be whispering at one time. They be yelling, or they'll say "thou
get
art
loud
this,"
and
and I'm
some
like,
shit.
bro, come on.
The reason why I started watching everything with captions is because of my oldest son now. And whenever I would turn the TV on, all the captions would be on. I'm like, who the fuck you turning these captions on the TV? And because I would always turn it off, and it was Kindle. And we're like, why do you watch TV with the captions on? He was like, so I can see what they're saying. It's how he learned how to read. Is by having the captions on the TV and hearing what they're saying and reading what they were saying as they said it.
What generation is he? Gen Y? Gen Z?
Gen something. That shit. Yeah, and my youngest, Miles, he do the same thing. The motherfucker reads a grade or two ahead of where he's at now. Yeah. Yeah, that shit was crazy. I was like, well, I'll be damned.
Nah, for me, captions, like I used to hate captions. I thought that only old people had to use them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized I started watching more and more white shows, and they be whispering.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the
Missing
fuck?
shit.
I be missing all types. Especially like, man, what he saying? Them shows you be recommending me,
Yeah.
like them slow burn white people shows, like Better Call Saul and shit.
Oh, that shit's
I like,
good,
bro.
bro.
If I gotta read something.
But yeah.
Bro. This nigga just.
You know the whitest show I just finished watching? I've watched all 3 seasons. For All Mankind.
I've seen the previews for that, and it's
Yo,
interesting.
it starts slow as fuck, but when they get going,
Yeah,
that shit's. I'm in there yelling at the TV. I was like, oh shit.
I'm gonna check that out.
But yeah, it's the whitest, most propaganda type show out there.
It's whiter than Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Nah,
And this is a different type of white. This is like white drama.
Nah, Curb got some niggas on there.
yeah, it's a black dude that live with Larry.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's only one black person on there. She said I'm the token black person. She acknowledged it.
The whitest show I love right now that's out is Ted Lasso. That's probably about the whitest
That's
show.
super white.
So white that it's across the pond.
I gotta take some notes on this.
All right, yeah, For All Mankind. It starts slow and shit, and it's boring and dull,
Easily
and
my favorite.
McGill
it's
said,
just like,
"Welcome to Frames Per Second."
yeah, but it
This
won't.
ain't a really a white show though, because it is,
They
but
tried to do it.
but it ain't like a boring white show. Like you invested.
not.
It's like Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones is a white show,
show,
but
man.
like you get invested in that shit.
All right, let's go ahead and get this thing started. This is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead in Sports. I am your host, Kenneth B. Inch. Joining me on the show, we have Nick. What's good, bro?
What's going on?
Shelton J.
What's happening?
Spike Lou.
What up, though?
And FIFO 24/7.
What it do, man?
Glad you guys are with us this evening, watching the show, man, as we get ready for the NFL season, going through our top positions or top figures at positions and coaching and stuff like that. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys tell someone about the show. Share a crazy take. And do me a favor. Also, hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment as well. And if you guys hear something crazy, I love these because I go back to the show and the timestamps with when somebody say something, I need all those too. So I can it'll help me identify stuff that you guys like, and I can clip those, put those on social, et cetera, because those are moments that resonate with you guys. So please do all of that. And also make sure you guys check out the Lead podcast. You guys have been asking about it.
It's back.
Yeah, we recorded our first episode. So Madden 23 has been a significant change from 2 versions ago when we were doing the podcast more regularly. So so we just got into that and kicked that off. So make sure you guys check that out. So that'll be uploaded to the channel, and then the podcast will be on the audio version will be on the podcast feed.
One more last thing.
Yep.
I see that there's a couple super chats about the fantasy league.
Yes, there will be fantasy. I suppose we have to do the draft next week.
We could do it next week or like the day before.
Yeah. We normally wait until the end, which is smart drafting anyway. There will be a fantasy league. I know I got a lot of people hitting me up that have been in the league before, so just stay tuned for that.
It's only a 12-team league though, so just because you hitting them up don't mean you getting in.
So yeah,
waiting to say that.
I'm just saying it's a 12-team league. Somebody ain't getting in.
Well, who was asking though? I might do something. Igwe. Yeah, I got you, Igwe.
I think someone else said it in the comments.
Yeah, 7 months,
the boy
man.
said that.
Yep. Yeah, look at all the member comments. Shout out to y'all, bro.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Yeah, members. You know what? What I'll probably do is do a members only league and then a public league. How about that? So we'll see how they go. So anyway, so Rayshawn, Igwe, who has some dope art, by the way. It says in his name, but it's actually really good. He ain't just saying that shit. But yeah, so check him out on Instagram, I believe. Igwe, drop your IG in the chat. Let folks check out your shit, bro. But anyway, man, we ain't gonna keep y'all too much long. We need to get into this show. So let's go.
Oh, my bad.
No, Stokes. Yeah, I got you, bro. You were in the league before, so yeah, I got you. All right, let's go.
So it's a football show. I know I've been saying that for the last few weeks. So there's no NBA conversation today. I ain't gonna start off like that.
You do got one NBA thing just quick.
Oh, but KD saying that he don't want to get traded?
Yeah.
Okay, what news is that?
That was the biggest laugh out loud breaking news. Like,
what news is that? He said after meeting with them niggas, like, okay, whatever. I do got a question for y'all. The injury bug is hitting the NFL already. Speaking of waiting until drafted and shit. The Miami corner, Mackenzie Alexander, is, I think, out for the season. The DN, Chase Young, out of Washington, is already on IR, so he's going to miss the first 4 weeks of the year, or the season.
What's wrong with him? That's from last year.
I think it's still stemming from last year, or he may
got
have
hurt
had
in that playoff.
Yeah, he's not fully recovered yet.
He's
so
on.
I think they knew that part.
And they also, and the Detroit wide receiver that they picked this year, in the first round, yeah, same thing. He's still he on the injury bug list. But that also leads me to Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah.
People are talking about this play. It's always with the Bengals too, as far as all these dirty plays. But it was a preseason game, but people say it was a dirty hit. Have y'all seen the play?
I did.
Yep.
Would y'all say it's a dirty hit?
It's football.
Because it's a legal hit technically.
Yeah, it's football.
It is dirty, but again, Sheldon Wright is football. Like, you can't prevent that, and you can't sit him out because he's a rookie and he need those reps. It's like, this is what happens when you play football.
Mm-hmm.
So if we mostly say it's a dirty play, how does the NFL react? Because from how I got to it, defenders have always been like, y'all keep changing the rules for offensive players. Like, y'all keep making it easy for them and harder on us. We only really have now to make a legal hit in the areas where they make their money, their legs. That's the only way you could take a nigga down, as far as like without having a flag coming up and stuff. And obviously, if it's not, after the play is over with, when the whistles are dead. So how does the NFL change this to keep players safe, or do they care about player safety when it comes to this?
Technically, the play, it was a cut block, so it is an illegal play. Technically, it's just ways to go about it if you're good to be able to get it done. So they already have rules in place. It's just one of those unfortunate things that happen. And I think that's the great thing about the NFL. To your original question about injuries, like the NFL is the ultimate next man up league. Mm-hmm. Like it don't matter. Like with the few exceptions of maybe a Tom Brady or someone of that stature being out for the season, like the NFL is just gonna keep rolling. It's next man up, next star. They are the epitome of that, where other leagues are more star based. Like the NBA, if LeBron, when he gets hurt, the whole NBA, you notice that.
It feels it.
Everything goes down from a sense. That don't happen ever with the NFL. So when you have plays like this, they'll look at it and be upset that a high-ranking defensive end that was picked high in the draft got hurt in a big market. But at the end of the day,
okay,
yeah, we keeping it moving.
And like you said earlier too, they'll protect offensive players before they will defensive players, because that's the face of the league. So you protect your offense. Your quarterback is always going to get protection. It's always going to be geared around keeping him upright, because you can win with the league could win with good quarterbacks. They're the face of the franchises. So defensive players, we hope you can stay upright.
You feel the same way, Ken?
Well, I mean, I know that they say next man up, but that next man ain't always, that damn good. It sounds good until they get on the field. And then you think about the man.
The last man.
Right.
You don't want the next man.
Right. Yeah, you think about that motherfucker. So, but yeah, I think that I did see somebody comment and say that they do need to make this illegal. I know you said it was illegal, but they were saying something about they need to take this out of the game.
Yeah.
And I think that, the players hold some sort of weight, and if it happens enough, then maybe they'll make an adjustment to it. But Shelton makes a point, like, Jalen Ramsey is really like one of the only defensive players we kind of know like that besides Aaron Donald. Most of these other guys, there are a few other stars like that, but if that happened to Aaron Donald, maybe, because he moves the needle in so many different ways publicly with sports talk and fans and stuff like that. But this guy that just came out, they don't give a fuck about him yet.
Nah, I ain't gonna say all that now. New York fuck with him.
They had high hopes. Is he out for the season? Like,
No, he's
2 to 4 weeks, I think.
He's basically gonna be on like the PUP list. Yeah. Like, he's gonna be out for the first 4 weeks.
He'll be all right.
Luckily, it wasn't serious. Last thing I want to talk to y'all about before we get to our list. I don't think we mentioned this, but Derrick James Jr. got paid. Safety from
highest paid safety in league
history. 4-year extension. $76 million, a little over $76 million, with $42 million guaranteed, $29 million in the first year. Safeties are getting paid a lot of money lately. We just seen saw a news report. Jesse Bates just signed his franchise tag, so he hasn't gotten paid, but franchise tag was guaranteed for $12 million. So this safety money is moving. I think right now annually the average safety is making about between 16 to 18 million per year.
Well, this is the thing that we know about the NFL in general, right? Like, every year the NFL as a business grows. They grow. So that means that the salary cap for these teams grows. Therefore, the player salaries grow. Therefore, that the franchise tag, which is the average across everybody at that position, salary grows. Therefore, Derwin James is now going to be the highest paid. And then the next one that's going to be up is going to be the highest paid. So it's one of these things where it's only going up. So is it surprising? No, because let's be honest, he is the best safety on the market right now and can be made an argument for the best safety in football. Zone coverage, man coverage, play one-on-one against a running back, against a tight end, some wide receivers, play like a linebacker, big hit coverage. He brings a lot to the table. So it's not surprising, but it's just
market value.
It's market value.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Nick?
Y'all know how I feel about certain safeties getting paid. Way before I feel like they've even proven that they the best.
So he haven't proven?
Not on a contending team. Like, and I'm saying that because I know you may be like, well, he just got there or whatever the fuck. But I mean, if he got an extension, I mean, he's been there for a little bit. I'm not saying he's not one of the top safeties at his position, but the money aspect of it, as far as with the Chargers,
better than him?
I mean, I know one. My Jesse Bates, as I can say, I saw the nigga in the Super Bowl.
But last year was the first time he was on a contender team.
Yep,
Bates.
Yeah, but he proved himself on that.
So
I have more tape that says that Jesse Bates is a better safety than Derrick Henry.
No,
Well, here's the.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
No.
On tape, when we talking about like what it matters, what does this do? From last year.
Here's the thing on that. Derrick James is probably the best safety in football. His only problem is staying on the field, staying healthy.
So that's another reason
the biggest
too.
issue I have with paying him is the fact that how often can we count on this guy to be healthy?
But that's what I'm talking about in this general scheme. Sense that, I mean,
but let's be honest. There's never been a team to make the NFL Super Bowl based off of a safety. We know that the main reason why most teams go to a Super Bowl, typically, not all the time, but mostly is the quarterback. And their current quarterback is on a rookie deal. Pay him.
But remember
until you gotta pay the man.
Remember the last safety that got paid that we talked about? Y'all remember the nigga name?
Jamal
Adams. Mm-hmm. I was the only nigga up here talking about, bro, this nigga, like, why the fuck was y'all? And I was like, bro.
That's why I'm asking you about how you feel about this one.
And even though I'm talking about Jesse, I ain't want the Bengals to pay that nigga that much either. Because we, again, there's certain positions where I'm like, I'd rather draft.
Well, I think with Jamal Adams, though, the reason that the price tag was so high is the draft picks that you give up. Like Steve-O was saying, when it's market value, either the Chargers are going to pay Derwin James now, or he balls out this year and we got to pay him double next year because market value is going up.
Well, Nick is saying, fuck the market value and let him go. I'll find somebody else.
I'm not gambling on that.
I'm only saying that based off the circumstance. That's why I'm saying Derwin James. Derwin James is on the Jets, pay the nigga. If Derwin James is on the Jacksonville Jaguars, pay the nigga. He is on the Chargers, who we said
pay the nigga.
But who we said already had a defense that just this year was bought. Some was drafted, but just this year was pretty much bought.
They added
more to the point where it's like they've added enough to where it's like we can kick the can on Derwin James.
No.
The leader of our defense.
He's still a game changer.
He's the leader of y'all defense.
Absolutely.
Joey Bosa's not the leader of the Chargers defense.
It's him, and he's a leader on that team. Period. But he is a game changer. So that's why you pay him, because you want that defense to be, instead of being exceptional, you want to be elite.
And is he on? So is it safe to assume when players get paid, they're on watch for that season?
He can be on watch for me.
The only thing he's on watch for is, like Sheldon said, is his durability.
That's it.
It's been proven that he can do what he needs to do on the field. Like I don't even think that's a question. Nope. He's arguably the best safety in the league.
Yes.
Nick, to answer your question, the only time that you question or put somebody on watch once they get that contract is those questionable people before. Oh, you were kind of
Hainsworth. You remember him? Yes,
exactly.
Like that.
You were kind of,
but he was a dog before he got paid.
Yeah, but it was always like, is he gonna work for it?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly. Which is why they kept pushing it back. But even the people that are kind of questionable, where it's like, you've been decent at best, and then all of a sudden you had a breakout year. I'm gonna pay you. I don't know about that. Because Joe Flacco.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't. Holy shit! I don't want that man hurting my wide receivers out here
with the knowledge and how he comes in, everything he gonna bring. Stop.
No. And then here's the other caveat to that too, Nick. Like I said, they have a rookie scale quarterback, and out of all the quarterbacks still on a rookie deal, you could say Herbert is top 2. I can make an argument that he's top 2 with every quarterback that's still on a rookie deal right now. Yeah. He's a top 2 quarterback.
He's better than who?
Joey Burrow with him.
You don't have Lamar Jackson on that top 2?
He ain't renegotiated yet.
He's still on his rookie deal,
didn't he?
True,
he's still on his rookie deal.
But he's not gonna. We know, like,
I'm just saying. You said
you 100% right. You right.
He's still on his rookie deal until he signs. The nigga ain't.
But what I'm saying, I can make an argument that Herbert is a better thrower of football than
just
Lamar
throw.
Jackson.
No, we're talking about QB.
I feel you.
You said QB on a rookie deal. You ain't say thrower of football.
I'm saying I can make. I'm not saying I would make the argument, but the argument can.
You the only nigga talking about it. I ain't saying shit about it.
Going into next year, if you taking Jackson or Herbert.
So who's out of the 3? Who's the top 2? Herbert, Burrow, or Lamar. These are all still on the rookie deal. Who's the top two out of
Jackson in that group?
Because he's still on his rookie deal. If the Ravens paid him, nigga, we only talking about them. He's right.
That's tough. That's a tough question.
It ain't tough for me, nigga. I don't know what y'all even
taking Burrow and Jackson.
Of course.
You don't like
who won the playoff games between the three? Who's been to the playoffs between the three? Who has hardware on some side as far as a title, or AFC title, or MVP?
But those two.
Why are we talking about shit like that? That's why I be like, bro, y'all be gassing these Chargers niggas up.
At the end of the day, the reason why you paid Derwin James is because you don't have to pay.
If you want to say we paying Derwin James because of what he's about to endure over the next 4 years, because he's gonna be playing in this division like y'all mentioned for over the next 4 years. So he's gonna have to be worse. So it'd be good to get him now. Maybe that's the case. But I wanted to go ahead.
I just wanted to respond to what you were saying about Herbert. He's been in a worse situation than either of those other two.
How so?
Here's the gas with him.
I don't know about that.
Now you in a better situation.
With
Lamar Jackson and
how so?
Because
Joey Burrow,
the Bengals have not had an O-line for 2 years.
But I think Zach Taylor's a better coach than anybody that's coached for the Chargers over the time that's been there.
I won't even agree with that.
You don't think that Zach Taylor's a good coach?
No.
Wow.
Because he has Samaje Perine on 3rd or 4th and 1 with the game on the line.
But he took the
instead
Bengals
of Joe
to the
Mixon,
Super Bowl.
who I listed as a top 5 running back in the whole fucking league.
And he also took the Bengals to the Super Bowl with his back.
He didn't take nobody nowhere. Because I had 2 seasons where I saw this nigga only win about 6-8 games combined.
And then the second half of the third season when it needed to click, it kicked in.
No, when Joe Burrow played more than 5-6 games, that's when we went to the Super Bowl. Okay. What did FIFO say? More times than not. How does the team get to a Super Bowl? It ain't because of a safety. He didn't even say a head coach. He didn't even say a defensive line. He didn't even say offensive line.
Right.
What did he say? A quarterback.
Right.
So that's the difference. Joe Burrow is the difference.
Both of those quarterbacks have had better situations than Herbert has coming into this year. So the gas that you're talking about we putting on Herbert is okay. Now he got a solid situation. Now he got the defense. Now he got the squad. He should do what what Burrow did last year.
The media has literally brainwashed y'all to thinking that Herbert is on a halfway home house team.
Hold on. So did you not have their running back in the top 6?
Yes.
Their wide receiving core as a core, I would say is definitely top 10.
Top 6.
Yeah, okay. Number 1. Didn't you?
No, not the receiver. We didn't do receiving core.
We didn't do wide receiving cores. I think that would be a good conversation.
Yeah, we have that.
Their defense as a unit, shit, top 2, bro.
Every level, you gotta kill.
Top 2. Yeah. So right now, this is where expectations happen. Because
expectations were already there.
But not really. The first 2 years, I don't care how good you are. The expectation isn't, okay, let's just go win a Super Bowl.
No, I'm not talking about the first year. He wowed people. Same thing with, he wowed people more than Burrow his first year because they both came out the same year. Only because Burrow got hurt. The second year is when niggas was like, nigga, you set records that first year. We didn't expect you to be that good. You coming from Oregon. We thought you was going to be lightweight shitball because when was the last good Oregon quarterback? Now that the second year was expectations, and
he lived up to them.
No, he
statistically,
yes.
Individually, because it's a damn good quarterback. We're talking about almost 5,000 yards, 20-some interceptions, 20-some touchdowns, very few interceptions. Yes. So he's a very efficient quarterback.
Statistically,
a lot of the reasons why they didn't win were situational football that primarily lies on the head coach. Primarily, not only,
and people being up their defense and shitball last year.
But they fixed those things.
They did. Even though they had a top 4 or top 5 offense, their defense was bottom 25.
And they were terrible in close games.
But we've seen.
So now they know. Now we know that they can apply pressure. We know that they can cover on the backside, and we know that we have a quarterback that has all the intangibles. And the best one is his IQ, because he has Josh Allen's arm, but he's not a gunslinger by mentality. He is going to pick you apart.
Well, let me go back because we moved around a lot. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is Derwin James, I would have waited on this nigga, me personally, especially with all that money guaranteed and all that stuff. But if y'all want to keep moving with that, that's fine.
But pause right there though, Nick. Has what we just talked about not taught you? The more you wait, the higher the price tag.
When we talking about quarterbacks, yes.
No, we talk about everything. And
that's why I said that's why I'm focusing on that.
Listen. But the NFL moves one way when it comes to salaries. The next year, right?
They have more people watching TV, more people buy tickets, more people buy the shit in the stands. The cap goes up because the money goes up.
Okay.
Therefore, they're spending more money on players. So
I know how money is spending work.
but
He said the more money they got, the more money they can give.
But
that's not my argument, bro. I'm saying he's not worth that money to me. Other niggas in the chat, you and other niggas on this panel can say yes. It's not to me.
So you're the GM that would draft an all-pro and let the motherfucker walk for nothing.
I know because I seen my organization do that. They drafted a replacement for this nigga who we know is about to leave. Do I love everything they giving to us? Yes. But I'm sorry, I'm not paying this nigga more than $18 million or $17 million per year when I know I got other niggas who have shown.
Who's others?
I got Joey B. I got Jamar Chase down the line. I got T. Higgins, who's right there too.
No. We talk about the Chargers.
With the Chargers, Herbert's gonna come up too, because like you said, you rather pay him early than late.
And he has
they're not gonna wait to their 5th year for Justin Herbert. Come on, like you said, the longer they wait, the more money goes up. So it's best to get them in that 3rd year for that extension, which is this year. Same way the Bengals been at Joey B's door right now, saying, "Nigga, let's do this deal before Lamar Jackson go to that damn bank." You know what I'm saying? Before he make it to damn near it was like 65 to $7 million a year for a quarterback. So that's what I'm saying. There's other money that we got to spread around, and the defense that they got or they bought mixed with the talent that they have, if they want to run it back. If it is a successful season, that's money that they got to pay them too. That we got tied up into a nigga who, if we want to look at how many impacts, Shelton, you brought up his injury history. Do you know how many games he's played in the last 4 years?
I already know. I know
how many?
It's abysmal.
He's played less than
a season.
He's played a total of 36 games in 4 years. That's 64 games in total. Well, maybe a little bit more since now there's 18 game season or 17 game season. He's played less than half.
Right.
Of career playing time.
I feel that.
Generational talent gets treated different.
Yep.
He's a generational talent. And you brought up the Bengals and how they treated replacing someone at that position, like you said. The difference between the Bengals and the Chargers, no offense here, the Bengals are a shitball organization. Like, they are cool with being in the gutters. Instead, the Chargers, we're not going to take this chance and have to draft another dude, wait 3 years, and possibly the same thing happen. We got this revolving door that we doing every year. If we can lock Derwin James up for 5 years and the possibility is there that he's maybe what we think he's going to be, then we good, because we don't want to do this in 2 more years.
My thing is based off what you said outside of the disrespect is the fact that you made it seem like the Chargers have been waiting on Derwin James to get moved forward as far as when it comes to team success.
They are.
Would y'all agree with that?
I think he's pivotal to their success.
Pivotal?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's
the difference between them getting beat in the first playoff game and them going to a
Spike,
deep playoff
let me ask you
run.
something. Who's the tight end for the Raiders?
Keller.
Darren Waller,
excuse me.
And then who's the tight end for the Chiefs? Travis
Kelce.
You need Derwin James, bro. You need look, Nick. It's not only just the group that you're putting together. It's who am I defending, right? And we're talking Josh Jacobs. We're talking Darren Waller on one team. Chiefs ain't never had no running back, but we know Andy Reid is creative, right? And then you have Travis Kelce on top of that. Based upon this division, we need this guy to neutralize one of these weapons.
And regardless of the number of games that you're saying he's played, he's familiar with those people. I don't want to bring in somebody 2 years from now. They got to learn again. He got to learn Kelce. We got a quarterback that we feel like can go. We got good receivers. We just put a line together. There's no way that I'm waiting to pay such a pivotal part of my defense until next year, because maybe he gets hurt. Nah, that ain't how you that ain't how you build. We ain't doing that.
Can you say something? Because I feel like I've been yelling too much. Because what they saying sounds redonkulous, especially in the offensive. We literally started this conversation about they protect offense more than defense, and y'all over here arguing like a safety is the reason why the Chargers haven't gotten far.
In today's game,
no, because we know why he ain't get far. Shelton, I talk to Shelton all the time about that Raiders game where all he had to do, because his coach, like y'all talked about, gave him hella 4th downs to win that game. Stanley, whatever the Brandon Staley, whatever the fuck the nigga name
Brandon
is.
Staley.
Yeah. He couldn't get it done.
My concern is, when is Herbert due for a contract? Because he's going to get paid.
That's 2 years from now. After this is
Right.
his third year. He could technically get his extension this
And
year.
has that Bosa kid been paid? He
Yes,
got his check
Bosa
yet?
got his money. Bosa got his money.
So Khalil Mack is just a rental.
Rental for
Year,
Khalil.
maybe
Rental.
two.
Well, not a rental for JC. JC probably signed a longer deal.
JC signed.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to build. So the pillars of that team will be Herbert, which they're going to lock up.
Keenan Allen. Maybe.
Bosa has been locked up. They're going to let him go.
They're gonna let him go.
Mike
He's
Williams.
past his prime.
Mike Williams got to be.
They'll probably re him up depending on what they draft.
Yeah, that won't be a lot of money for Mike Williams. Either. Like it's low.
So
He's a
Bosa,
number
James, and Herbert may be their three core.
You can
But-
pay about 5 guys,
And
and then
how
probably
many-
some of them old linemen that pan out.
Yeah. How many years he signed for?
4. So it's an extension. So
He got most of his money up front though.
Yep,
Like in the first
23.
2 years, he probably gonna get most of his money.
Okay,
So that, the last 2 years they don't mean shit.
I think while I understand as a GM what you would do, I think that what they're doing is also following something that you would do is let's pay everybody before we pay the quarterback. And let's go ahead and kind of what the Seahawks did.
You know me, I wouldn't do
Yeah.
that. You see how I play, man. I'm not paying no quarterback. So they doing some shit that I wouldn't do. Like obviously, in a video game, it's a video game.
But the general idea is we got a rookie quarterback. We're gonna try to win now, and we're gonna make sure everything else is
yeah,
good.
that's
so we
something
can
that I
win
did.
now.
I've talked about that for years. That you got to win with rookie quarterback.
So it seems like they're kind of in the middle of that since in 2 years, Herbert will be due. It'll be only 2 years left on his contract, and since they paid everything mostly up front, that money on the back end will only be
okay. So let's talk about the player because that's where we disagree mostly. I don't think the player is worth it right now. Y'all say y'all do.
I think he's worth it right now.
What say you?
See, my thing is when it comes to, as I've stated on here, when it comes to the money part of it, I'm typically neutral. Like because it's not coming out of my pocket. So I don't care what they pay them for the most part. And my thing is, but in evaluating this situation to give you an answer, it's siding with FIFO. It's like the cap. No, it's not really siding with FIFO. My thing is all about the market and what the market bears and what he's worth at that time. So and that's it. So if the market says he's due that money based on what Jamal Adams got paid and Jesse Bates eventually get paid, then it is what it is. If they're overpaying, then that's an issue. But at every single position, there's a price tag associated with it. And it's going to be a high dollar amount. And it looks crazy, but unfortunately, that's the way that, as you say, I don't have to teach you how the market works. That's just the way the market works.
I'm not upset.
And it's just like,
it's just the fact of, I ain't really even upset because they ain't my team. It's just like, when I saw that headline, I was like,
because here's the thing,
I don't know why they did
who
that.
do you
What else
replace
did
him
you do with that money?
Exactly. Who
Like
do
it
you
don't go
replace him
nowhere
with?
else. You don't save money by not signing.
Exactly. Like what money are you saving? Because you're not gonna replace him with somebody that's even half as good. That's number one. Number two, what are you gonna do with the money? What other position are you gonna sign?
You
You're pretty much
act
solid
like
across the
he has
board.
been that impactful to their team's success since he got drafted. Are we not like Nick Shelton? Am I missing something here? Like like Derwin James, as an individual is
He's
fine.
still a corner piece. Like when Ken just named the corner pieces of their franchise, Derwin James was one of those three.
He was picking at straws. Let's keep it a being. Like after just
He was still one of the three, regardless.
After Bosa and Herbert, he was like, hold on, who the third nigga?
It looks like James is going to be the guy.
And I think that's what they did too. They was like,
But
hold
that's
on,
the point, though.
let's-
They're paying him like, okay, you the guy. Like now, go and produce. Nobody is crowning him yet. Nobody is saying.
So y'all have no expectations for him?
I have high expectations for him. I think he can be the defensive player of the year. I said that when we were naming the backfields here.
Yeah,
You be
the
saying a
only
lot of
reason
shit
why
I
I don't
forget,
think
I be
that
tuning out.
is because of everything that's in front of him.
Yeah, he's gonna be very impactful. He played with a hand in the dirt in Florida State. The dude is probably one of the most versatile defenders that you got on the field.
He is.
I mean, I guess the question
is on the field.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess the question is, like, do you build in the next 4 years when you lose Mac? I don't know how long Bosa signed, but are you building your defense around James?
Yes.
So are you going to go get the linebackers, the D-line, and et cetera, and the corners, maybe not corners, because Derwin James is the guy that's going to make everything go. Yeah. Kind of like when you had Ray Lewis, it didn't matter what you surrounded him with. Mm-hmm. You know, but you had to go get the talent. Ray Lewis will be that guy. At Seattle had a guy like that. Who's that guy?
Hey, but let's be honest though, because I'm thinking about the Ravens and them. He had a lot around him, Ken.
They got Ed Reid after him though.
That's what I'm saying.
The piece that mattered the most was Ray Lewis.
The Ravens drafted Ed Reid after they had.
They just knew how to draft well. And they knew how to draft a lot of talent.
Saying like they still built their defense around Ray though.
And Ray is going to get
Reid do whatever the fuck he wants to back there because you got a nigga who can control the shit from here.
But what I'm saying is they had multiple Hall of Famers on that.
No, I know that, but I'm saying when you got Ray Lewis,
it's the centerpiece. Like we know that we have a guy for the next 10, 12 years that no matter what we put around him, we're going to be at least middle of the pack.
And he's going to coach everybody up and make sure, like, because he's that much of a leader. Yeah. I don't know that much about Derwin James, but you know, in terms of we don't know aspect.
Either. I ain't seen the nigga. But when last time you see him play?
It's been a while.
Like I said, that's
I didn't even know him. The last time I seen him play, he didn't have the junior. I don't even think he had a kid.
Who's the white boy in Chicago? The linebacker, Earl Acker. Man, there's some guys, man. When you get them, like this guy right here, he's gonna make everything else better. You know, good. Right. We'll find out if Derwin is that guy because I thought it was Bosa.
Me too. They don't know who they paying out there. It seemed like.
Nah, they paying the right guys.
They paying the right people.
All right, let's get to what everybody came here to talk about.
All right.
And just real quick, I don't know what's going on. We're having some internet issues. It's green right now. It was lagging for a minute. I kicked a lot of stuff off the internet while I was in my phone, so maybe that created some stability. Y'all still on. I ain't kicked y'all off yet, but
I just booted myself.
But yeah. So we say I'm gonna just have to increase the package. I think they're doing this shit on purpose.
They always do it. Once you get to the highest package, they be like,
I swear to God, I think they're doing this.
And they know we do it.
Yeah.
This modem gonna speed everything.
Bro, it makes no sense. It's like $200-$300 for that shit. Fuck. Anyway.
They robbing people.
But yeah, y'all came here to hear us talk about a category that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough, at least on the within the streets. Maybe in the mainstream area, but head coaches. We throw a lot of shit, as we just had a whole conversation about a player. We don't have a lot of heat for a lot of coaches these days because we just focus on the players. So that's why I feel like it was necessary to see who not only are our top, who we believe are our top head coaches in the league, but also who do we feel like should be on the hot seat, i.e. who may get fired after this season or who should probably already be fired now. So I did top 6 because we'll do the top 6 head coaches and then we'll do the top 4 head coaches who are on the hot seat. So it's a total of 10. So kind of getting us closer because next week we are doing our top 10 QBs. So I'll give y'all a heads up.
Hey, you want me to do some of these super chats real quick?
Yeah, go ahead and knock them out.
We appreciate the super chat love, man. Y'all keep it coming. DJ813, what's happening? He said breakout players this year.
So I guess the rookies. Or just anybody?
Breakout player. Who's going to have a good year this year out of nowhere, I guess? Would be a breakout player.
Derwin James.
There you go.
Disrespectful. Very.
There you go. Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. That's crazy that you would say that.
Well, because that first season was so tumultuous and so chaotic.
Is that even a breakout then?
Yeah, right.
If he was shitballing and he's decent?
Yeah, because he had the odds stacked against him.
Yeah, I mean, he still.
He had a bad coach, so we ain't never seen a QB with a bad coach?
I mean, well, he didn't have no players either. He had bad coach and bad
shit that was going on.
Players.
I got one.
The one good player got hurt.
Making excuses for these white boys.
I know they do. I got one. I'm going to go with Jameis Winston. Do they have to be young guys or they could be anybody?
No, anybody breakout.
I got Jameis Winston.
Oh, so you follow my MVP from a year ago?
I think he's gonna bounce back. He got hurt, but I think he's gonna bounce back.
They have a really good team around them.
Yeah,
they really do.
Yeah,
like
Chris
it's really on him.
Those wide receivers. Michael Thomas play like he can play. Yeah, he got.
Oh yeah, now he coming back because he quit on the team last year.
Yeah, he sure did.
Ooh, I got a random one, and it's maybe y'all may laugh at this though.
Y'all don't you say Danny Dimes.
I'm going on preseason hype.
Don't say no bullshit about no Danny Dimes.
No. I was
second G.
Oh yeah, just Danny.
I wasn't gonna say him. I was actually gonna say Jacoby Brissett.
Come on, Nick.
That is random.
I was gonna say Jacoby Brissett because now that Watson's out for 11 games, right?
Nick, if he was a starter, he would have been a starter.
I'm just saying, we just talked about breakout player. That's all he asked, breakout player.
He had the Colts O-line.
If he gets the Browns, because they have, I think I heard that they got a softball schedule like first 6 games or some shit like that.
Yeah, if he turns around and hand the ball off good, then
I'm saying if he leads this team to what the first 11 games, 8-3.
Then he would have done his job. That's it.
Thank you.
That's not a breakout season.
No, because the breakout season means that we're benching Deshaun, and guess what's not going to happen?
And he would have done his job, and when Deshaun Watson come back,
y'all laughing. We've seen cases where
don't say headset when it comes to Deshaun Watson.
Huh?
Nothing.
He said, "Don't say headset in Deshaun."
We seen
not this one, bro.
We seen Deshaun Brock Osweiler take Peyton Manning's job, bro.
Nick,
we seen that
because Peyton was done.
Yep.
We ain't know that at that time. We ain't know that at that time.
They did. They knew it was over.
Yeah.
We didn't. Mine is the Dallas returner. It had 2.
A returner?
Right back on brand.
What's his name? Dante
What's his name?
He got a practice squad nigga. He want to break out.
Kevontae Turpin. He won the USFL Special Teams Player of the Year last year.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. He ain't making the team.
He won the Boy Scout troop.
I could have told you concession stand workers.
He was an MVP at the Boy Scout Hall of Fame game.
I'm going to stay on brand here and pick my guy. He going to be breakout player of the year. He bring your punt return.
Because of punt return.
This nigga was a
punt and a kick return.
5-star on Sesame Street.
Against the third team.
Arena League All-Star.
Against the third team punt team.
Yeah.
So
USL.
We need that, though.
My breakout is Tua. I think he has the most shit around
That's a
him.
good one.
I love how he always has like.
Of course, I gotta come back to.
You always say you.
Yeah. I mean, he does have.
You don't never really claim Miami, but he always try to throw out.
They
some
are
Miami.
the most talented team in the league.
He did say that
for 3 years in a row.
He even also said they got the best defense or second overall.
Oh, he said overall they had the most talent in the league last year and this year.
That was last year before Tyreek, right?
Did I say last year?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Well, 305 till I die. What can I say? But not Tua. I definitely think he's gonna have a breakout season. I saw the highlights of his preseason game last.
So he's accurate too.
That's never been.
I thought he's always been accurate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's never been the
get
issue.
The ball there.
Mm-hmm. It was what?
He can't get the ball there. Like the ball ain't gonna make it to no.
Well, here's the thing though. He did have some zip last night. Now he didn't throw no cannon 60, 70 yards down the field either. But he definitely throws a frozen rope when he needs to. So we'll see. My thing is this: is that you have 2 elite grab and go kind of guys, and we know that he's accurate. He could get the ball within 15 to 20 yards. So we shall see.
Short intermediate passes.
He said we know he could get the ball between 15 and 20 yards in the NFL, bro. He said that's all we know.
He can guarantee.
Wow.
This professional
bro, I didn't know that. Y'all laughed at me about Jacoby Brissett. This nigga talking about, bro, as long as this nigga throw from me to Spike Lou, he good. Jalen Waddle and them can take it away.
He good.
Bro, fuck out of here,
Look,
bro.
what I'm saying is we know what he does well. If they sprinkle in the shit that we have question marks about, he could break
We're just
out.
throwing past 20 yards.
22, and let's not go too
You said
far.
throw it between you and Spike.
Bro.
But nah, I definitely think Tua will be up there for consideration. The motherfucker gonna have the ball in his hand, like, and he got talent around. So
J.K. Dobbins.
that's yours.
That's a good pick.
That was a year ago for me.
What you mean?
Meaning, I felt last year was supposed to be his breakout, but
He got hurt though.
I know,
Right.
which is why I don't know if he'll be all the way back now. I think he lost a little bit of momentum. That's just my perspective.
Is he gonna be ready week 1, or does he?
I think he is.
I haven't heard anybody say like
because he got hurt. Yeah, I know
Got
he
hurt.
got
It was
hurt.
like
Week one. He got hurt
last year,
preseason,
right?
Yeah. But with Lamar back there, that gives him room. He gonna get some carries.
I know he is. I love JK. I love JK Dobbins.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know.
don't sound like it. You sound like you like the nigga.
No,
You
I
think
really
he gonna?
do.
You think he gonna Saquon it?
I was gonna say Saquon
What does that
breakout,
mean?
but that offensive line is just horrendous. Bro.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Saquon, but that line is so horrendous, and I think he about to.
There's no reprieve. Like, I could play 9 men in the box the whole game. What you gonna do?
Yeah, like, I'm not. There's
Daddy.
no way I'm showing
Dan,
any respect
you gonna
to
throw
Dan.
the ball, Dan?
Yeah,
Y'all gonna play disrespect.
I would let your receiver stand out there by himself.
I see somebody said this nigga Danny Phantom. Hey, look, don't. Hey, when that nigga go ghost.
Hey, Nick, that Dan the man or Tua?
That ain't even. You think way
Think about crazy. It's like I was gonna go with.
Think about that.
Nah, because I was gonna say I'm going with the black man, and I realized it's Tua.
Yeah. You ain't that quite. Not quite.
Yeah,
Hey, you melanin though.
He got some melanin in him.
he tan. That's about as he gets.
Closer than you to Dan the
Is that
man.
melanin?
Yeah, he get pulled over. He better.
Why
act
you
right.
questioning? He ain't got melanin.
I'm just asking.
Who you got, Ken?
No, wait, hold on. You would answer. Who you taking? Dan the man or Tua?
You definitely. You don't even. Why are you thinking?
Yeah,
that?
why?
Because
you
it
think
really,
about that?
I don't know either. I don't know. It's a question mark on both.
It's not.
Dan
One is accurate, one ain't.
Yeah, and one's the worst quarterback in the league.
Yes.
He's not the worst quarterback.
Yes, he is.
No, he's
Yes, he.
No, he's not.
Bro, I take Carson Wentz today over Dan.
Without a doubt.
That's you.
You
Not
wouldn't?
taking Carson Wentz over.
It's a wash. Carson Wentz on his third team.
It's a wash.
It's Carson
Wentz was in the MVP race.
But Dan is gonna be out the league.
So hold on.
Wait.
Dan ain't got nothing.
Spike. Let's be honest.
If he
Carson
was
Wentz
black,
has
he would already
talent.
be out the league.
We're not going there.
We've seen Carson Wentz in
black, he
multiple
would've never
situations
played.
not do shit. What are we talking about?
What I'm saying is that when you have some talent, you'll bounce around. Dan the man is gonna be out the
Yeah,
league.
as soon as the Giants get done with him, it's
It's a
over.
wrap. No.
This is his last season.
He can be a
of proof.
backup somewhere.
he'll
This
get
is
a-
backup,
he'll get-
but Carson Wentz went to 3 places and was a starter. Day
Started,
one.
yeah.
Desperate places, yes.
But still
But ain't
started.
nobody that's
No
enough
one's
to
gonna
start
get
Dan.
he hasn't been let go yet.
But I guarantee you, ain't nobody gonna start that man.
We gonna see after this
I
season.
bet.
Hey, this is
Let's bet a bottle.
All right, y'all about to make me do a presentation stand out.
Bet a bottle, bro.
I might say Danny Dimes gonna be a breakout player.
Who Dan?
He gonna break a leg or something.
Go ahead.
I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just sit back. I told you I'm trying to be diplomatic this season. I'm not trying to make hot takes.
You gonna hope we forget about it. Because Dan gonna stink it up. Like
Hey,
he always
every
does.
week the Giants, or not even the Giants, every week Danny Dimes does something great.
Mac Jones or Dan the man?
I'll take Bill Belichick.
The fuck out of here, Rick. Okay. Justin Fields or Dan?
Give me Justin.
There's no situation in the league that I would take Daniel Jones as my quarterback. Not one. Over what I got going on
The
already.
Vikings quarterback, what's the name?
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins or Dan?
You can't. Yeah,
There's not one.
Ken, who you got for your breakout
It ain't
player?
one
Cousins or
situation.
Dan?
I already asked
I
you.
went with Jameis Winston.
Oh, you said Jameis? Okay.
There's
All
not
right.
one situation in the league where I'm taking Daniel Jones.
The Texans.
Yeah, they got the other dude.
Davis Mills.
Mills. Yeah, they like Mills. Remember?
He's the new. What was that white boy?
It was backing up here. Scott Mitchell.
Nah. I think he played with Cleveland.
Oh, I got one.
so.
Ryan Tannehill or Dan the man?
Tannehill.
That's basically the
The
whole league.
Seahawks, maybe.
Seahawks, maybe.
Seahawks, maybe. That's it.
Bruh, it's bad for
Because I can't
Dan.
even remember the dude from the Seahawks' name. What's his name? Dude from the Broncos?
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. Yeah.
Locking that. Who the black guy? Gino.
Geno
Geno,
Smith.
yeah,
That's
Drew
the
Lock.
That's it. That's bad.
Nah,
right there.
the Carolina situation.
I'll take Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I
over
take
Dan
Baker all day over Dan.
Yes.
All day over Dan.
Yeah.
Do that.
You
I
tripping.
don't even like Baker.
And I don't like Baker like
They
that.
say he's
Yeah, so
average.
you know-
I must
I take
love that
Baker.
motherfucker. You taking that motherfucker?
Nah. Dan is just that bad.
That's
bro.
how bad he is.
Well, we're here to talk about the good head coaches in the NFL. All right. You need to talk less. Talk
less
and get
and
better takes.
Let me get through the rest of these real quick. We them boys, NFL fantasy coming soon. We discussed that, right?
Yeah, we did.
Joshua Jericho Polisek, what's happening? He said, would y'all be down to review the Lakers documentary series like what y'all did with The Last Dance?
Yes.
Yes.
We are.
Yeah, we'll do that. The last Onyx, what's happening? He said, hey, y'all, in your opinion, who are some of the biggest what-if players you can remember? Mine would be Josh Gordon and Brandon Roy. Man, there's one that stands
Man,
out
Josh Gordon is
more than
good.
any other in my mind, and it's Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson was the biggest what-if player of all time.
Yes.
Lawrence Phillips for me.
Lawrence Phillips. Ooh, that's good.
I love Lawrence Phillips.
Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway. Could have been the greatest.
Healthy Grant Hill. You know who else? The biggest what-if player too? 1 and 1A for me is Bo Jackson and Lynn Bias. If we doing crossover sports, Lynn Bias was with that Celtics team too. That'd have been ridiculous.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Bo knows everything.
Yeah, Bo Jackson was set to be the GOAT. You couldn't do nothing with Bo.
You know, growing up in that era though of Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, Michael Jackson, like there were some GOATs just like in my era of growing up that I don't think can ever be overcome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like no matter how great some of these youngins are, bro.
Okay, bro. Just shit on the next upcoming generation.
No,
Like,
I'm just saying. Look, there's never been a player like Bo Jackson ever.
Mm-hmm.
The power and the arm in baseball. We talk about, bro. This dude was cracking bats. Did I send y'all that fucking IG thing?
Yeah.
This man was cracking bats over his thigh when he got angry. This man could hit 200-some yard home runs. The man had a laser from outfield to throw you out at any base. You know what I'm saying? And then he ran he could hit an infield home run if he wanted to. Like there was nothing he couldn't do on the baseball field. Mm-hmm. On the football field, oh my God. He run you over. He'll juke you. He'll stiff arm you. He'll outrun a DB. There was nothing this man couldn't.
Career
Ended it. Bro, there was nothing this man could not.
I will say I do hate the fact that the Bengals are a bad part of Bo Jackson's history.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of the Bengals, I would say my what if is obviously heavily favored on my city side. Chris Henry. He passed. He was a very talented receiver.
The thermostat's offline. See if you can turn it back.
He was a very talented receiver, and I hate that he got taken too early. But I think the trio that we talking about with
Chad Johnson,
and TJ
Huzmazan.
Yeah, that
nice.
trio is mean. With Carson at the time, he was balling too.
Yeah, that was mean. That was.
I just hate how he got taken away. But yeah, that's my what if.
I'll say Robert Edwards.
Running back.
Ooh,
He got Robert Edwards got towards leg up in a flag football game.
What himself? I remember him from Georgia.
Yeah,
flag
man.
football
Yeah,
game.
he was a beast.
Robert Edwards.
I will say the Brandon Roy.
What was your boy from South Carolina that happened to?
Lattimore, Marshawn Lattimore.
Lattimore.
He was another one. That was a good one too.
Yep.
Yeah, he tore it up and ended up retiring beforehand because he went to San Francisco, but he just never could get back right. Tennessee tore him up. What'd you say?
I was saying that Brandon Roy was a great pick because I think Brandon Roy would have been like, even Kobe was like, bro, this nigga next up. He was like, bro, he is next up. And that whole Blazer squad, that Greg Oden, LaMarcus Aldridge, Rudy Fernandez, Brandon Roy, even Steve Blake, a young Steve Blake. I think even
I thought Greg Oden was gonna be good.
I was going to say Greg Oden.
I was gonna say it too, but
He was.
I don't know why I'm thinking about it.
He got hurt, right?
I thought about Greg Oden, but I was wondering if I was just misremembering.
Nah, he was out of O State.
He was different in college.
He was gonna
Right.
change the game of basketball from a big man standpoint, going into the new generation.
It's like what we was talking about with Bill Russell when we were talking about that up here. That's what it seemed like he was.
Yeah, he was
Oden.
nice.
Like he ain't giving you 40 points and nothing like that, but he was so
Nah,
effective.
he was gonna give you 20-10 at least.
Yeah, and defensively he was just like so effective at Ohio
Well,
State.
he also was he was a mid range shooter too. Like he had range.
Greg Oden
Like
was
for
high in
early
college,
2000s,
man.
like that was different for most motherfuckers.
I just hope we ain't adding Zion Williamson to this list.
Ooh, I hope not.
I hope he's not a what if. Devontae said AFC North predictions post Watson's suspension.
It was the same. I didn't think Cleveland was gonna do shit with him
Yeah.
or without him. He was gonna
For
be suspended
it's
regardless.
Baltimore, Cincinnati, and then
That's your
Baltimore, Cincinnati,
Pittsburgh,
Cleveland.
then Cleveland. Yeah.
You got Pittsburgh last?
No, Cleveland last.
Oh, yeah, I got Cleveland last.
I got Cleveland.
I got Cleveland last.
Cleveland last.
I got actually
I'm going Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Cleveland.
I might have Cleveland, bro. I might have Pittsburgh last.
Who do you have starting the quarterback for Pittsburgh?
Pickett.
Trubisky. I'll pick it.
Pickett's not going to start. They're going to start.
They are going to start Trubisky.
I got Baltimore.
I'm being a homer.
I got Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
He ain't going to stay. Yeah, he going
They
to
won't
get
pick
that
it in there.
job.
Pickett looked like the deal. I'm going Pittsburgh, also Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland.
You
That
think
one I don't
Cincinnati's gonna
mind.
drop down that far?
I think so too.
I don't think that I don't think they're gonna be worse. I just think the division's getting better.
I think I looked
they
at
may win 8
I
or
looked at
9
Cincinnati
games
schedule,
still.
bro. They gave them a Super Bowl schedule. That's the only
Yeah.
reason why I didn't pick them to win the division.
I think it's gonna be hard for them this year. They're gonna win some games. They got a good
Because
team.
they play
Burrow's
the
good.
NFC South and they play the AFC. I think it's the AFC East. So it's gonna be interesting. Is that it?
Rayshawn Davis said, "Let me join the fantasy league." We got you, bro. The last Onyx, I got that one. Let me see. Paul Brown said Matt Rule should go. He's a fat Adam Gase. We'll get to that.
That's funny.
Drink More Water said, anything to take from the Ravens winning 22 straight preseason games? And if you had to build your ideal team, what type of team would you feel? Offense first, defense first, build the trenches, etc.
I would build defense first.
We don't need to address the preseason wins. It don't mean shit.
Yeah, don't.
I build defensive line first.
Yep. Same thing. Defense and D-line.
Defense, D-line.
Yeah, I was thinking trenches.
I was gonna say offensive line, but by the time you get the quarterback, the offensive line could be good, and then you still have to wait for the quarterback to develop, which means the offensive line will get older, and then you have to start all over again, type shit.
Yeah, we'll start with a QB. Give a damn about everything else. I ain't got a QB. I ain't got shit, so I'm good. I'll start with a QB.
Not necessarily.
I don't know about that because you could ask Detroit about how they feel about Stafford. QB ain't do a goddamn thing.
You win games in the trenches.
No, 100%. But just like Joe Burrow showed, I could run for my life and still get to a Super Bowl.
That's an exception. That's not the rule.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look at that Rams team, and the opposite applies. You built the trenches won those games.
No. Look. I understand that, but everybody started from scratch. I want the best quarterback available. You can go take the best O lineman, the best D lineman, this, that. I'm taking the best quarterback I can get my hands on. That's cool.
But a great O line can make a good quarterback great. But a great quarterback can't make a good O line better.
Shit, ask Peyton Manning.
The Colts investing in their offensive lines, bro.
Not early on,
but obviously when they realized they had a Peyton Manning, they were like, we need to invest in this line. The majority of his career had a good offensive line.
But a lot of that was because of Peyton. How he controlled and manipulated the defense made the job easier for his own.
I won't say, you can't just blame that all on Peyton. Jeff
Saturday did all that. He was the captain of that.
You said a lot of that is based off Peyton. I'm disagreeing.
Yeah, Peyton.
Jeff Saturday was amazing. Hall of Famer. Salute. But Peyton Manning something different, bro.
And he talked highly about Peyton Manning. He talked about Peyton Manning like Peyton Manning was different, bro.
He was.
Bro, pre-snap, there was not a better quarterback. No. He manipulated everything that defensive did and then put his guys in the best position possible, bro. Mm-hmm. Peyton Manning is a major factor. Not the only factor. Jeff Saturday, I give him a lot of props on that, on how that O-line played. But a big reason is Peyton Manning.
All I'm saying is that you have to pay the offensive line, and you have to draft or acquire.
I feel
acquire.
I'm not saying O-line wouldn't be the last thing that I would go and build. Mm-hmm. It's just not the first thing. I'm giving you the QB.
And I mean, shit. Look at Washington. They got a great D-line. They ain't doing shit.
Pick to lose.
We just said where we would start at.
I know.
It ain't end all be all. And as you can see, Washington almost made the play. If they did make the playoffs without a quarterback and just the D-line.
I feel you, but if I just have a quarterback, I can make the playoffs. If I have the best quarterback in the division, bro, more than likely, regardless of what I have around, I'm making the playoffs.
Yeah. And if you're good enough, like the Bengals, I can go to the Super Bowl.
I have enough weapons.
He's more than good enough. Let's just say, let's keep it a full beam, bro. Ain't nobody doing what my nigga doing.
Hey, bro, ain't nobody.
You got a whole season to get through, bro.
Huh? I told you I didn't pick them to win the
division. I know you didn't.
Yeah, so I'm like, bro, that's it. And
they ain't stopping you from Boston.
I talk about I talk about the individuals. The team success, you ain't heard me say shit about that. I said it's the individual.
Thank goodness for Chase.
Nick, I think it's more real for Joe Burrow to never make another Super Bowl than it is for him to make.
That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the top 6 coaches in the NFL. That is that's a conversation we're going to get to next week. When we talk about the QBs, we're going to break all that shit down. Because I can't wait to hear where y'all put Justin Herbert so I can chop all that.
Justin Herbert.
You ready to tear us up? Josh Bro said, we need to stop this nonsense about Jameis. He's the black Jay Cutler, but throws even more interceptions.
God, somebody on the same.
What are we talking about?
Thank you. Who said that?
That's Josh Bros.
Shout out to Josh
He is
Bros.
not the black
how are you gonna,
Jay Cutler.
How are you gonna say that?
Maybe worse.
How are you gonna say
Absolutely not.
Maybe worse than Jay
you
Cutler.
shot so much bail for all these other QBs?
Who did I shoot
You
bail
just
for?
shot bail earlier about Justin Herbert talking about some.
He's
The
good.
nigga wasn't in the best
He's
position
good.
to really
Where's
win.
Jameis Winston went 500 in Tampa Bay.
That wasn't all his fault.
He was there.
It was all them up when they
When they had the black coach, what he do?
This is
when
the
they
show.
had the black coach, what he do?
I know, right?
What he do?
We
when
know
he had
what
the
happened
black coach?
when they fired that
We've been over
motherfucker and
this.
brought in the white quarterback that thought he was gonna take him to over the promised land. What happened? Went fucking downhill, and they blamed everything on Jameis.
As they should have. I ain't saying Jameis Winston is an awful quarterback, but he's not.
Now Jay Cutler's an awful quarterback. So if you
Jay
compare,
Cutler was
if you saying he's a
about
black,
the same, he was about the same as
if
Jameis
you saying he's a
Winston.
black Jay Cutler, then
He's
you
about the same as Jameis Winston. Same thing. I'm getting the same thing.
Nah, bro.
Nah.
I ain't saying James Winston is a
I'm not
top
either,
10
but-
nigga. I'm just saying I'm taking him over Jay Cutler.
It's a toss. It's a pick with me.
We them boys said how many lives Frank Reich has.
He's gonna get to all that.
That's a great
We can get to all that.
Snapshot said thoughts on NFL top 100 list. I think Dak not a good spot at 44 and get more respect from players and too much hate from fans. He's in the spotlight, man. That's kind of what he got.
He don't think it's a good spot at 44?
Nah, I think that probably is a good spot for
I
him.
haven't looked at the list, so I can't comment.
Yeah,
If we're talking about football players in general, no, like just in general, yeah, probably 44 is a good
he
spot.
should be happy at
Yeah,
44.
I feel like that's a.
He top 50.
That's.
That's the least you gonna get a
Be
nigga.
happy with that.
Are we good on super chat?
From what I can tell so far, my phone.
All right, so we gotta get to these the main topic. So top 6 head coaches in the league. These are what we deem are the best head coaches in the NFL currently going into the 2022-23 season. At number 6, I'll start it off. I have Matt Leflore, head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Chose Matt Leflore because in the the last two out of the 3 seasons, he's been to the NFC title game. Not just off the back of Aaron Rodgers, but with a great defense and a good running game. Aaron Rodgers has been asking for defense for a minute. He literally got all. You remember he was in the media like, nigga, we got defense now.
Yeah.
Got defense, got a good running game, 2-headed monster. Some people say Dillon may be better than Jones. I think he's coached his team really well. They haven't missed a beat since Mike McCarthy. I don't think the whole city even misses Mike McCarthy outside of 2010, that Super Bowl run. So
He ain't nobody to miss.
there we go. I got Matt Leflore at number 6. Who you got, Lou?
Number 6 for me, I struggled to which one of these guys I wanted to include. I'm going with the one that has more recent success, and Harbaugh was the one that I left off as far as John Harbaugh at 6, but I'm going Mike Vrabel. I think Vrabel has done a great job in Tennessee with what he's had at quarterback. Tannehill got a beast. Derrick Henry at running back. Won a lot of unexpected games with that one over the when he took Tom Brady out when they were playing
his
the
last year in
Patriots.
New England?
Yeah, so I think that Mike Vrabel and what he's built, the team is kind of taking on his persona as far as what they go out there and do. It ain't flashy, but you look up and they win in 16-19. Of course, it's off a division as well. But Mike Vrabel 6 for me. I like his style.
Yeah, I got actually I have Matt LaFleur 6 too. And coaching hasn't been the issue. He's coached really, really well. The issue when they get to the NFC Championship is Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams dropping the ball at the goal line. And we look at the defense. The defense got Aaron Rodgers 3 turnovers against Brady.
Defense kept Jimmy G under 10 points.
Them motherfuckers didn't do anything with it. So when they get them there, the players lately have folded and then step up in big key moments. So give me Matt LaFleur.
I got John Harbaugh. I think he had a bad year last year, expectedly with all those injuries that they had to deal with. But normally this Baltimore team is feisty. They're going to give you a good run, and they're going to be near the top every year, no matter what. Plus, he coached Lamar to an MVP season.
You're going too far. But there's one thing I will say about Harbaugh that I didn't know. I think someone said, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, he's only had 2 losing seasons.
Yes.
In his whole 15-year tenure at Baltimore.
Shout out Ozzie Newsome.
Yeah. Whole lot of talent he had. He did his thing with it too. A couple Super Bowls, yeah.
Interesting.
Or yeah,
All right.
yeah, I think that's what it is.
So Matt Leflore, huh? That's a whole separate conversation. At number 6, give me Sean McDermott, Buffalo Bills. You look at where Josh Allen was going to Buffalo. You look at how this team has progressively gotten better ever since the Patriot game. Because I feel like that was that light switch for them. It was like, okay, well, like, are we going to be serious or are we not? You know, I think that has a lot to do with the captains on that team, but it also has a lot to say about the head coach and that coaching staff to say, look, this is the turning point, and we're gonna do something, or we all gonna get let go. You know what I'm saying? I think we got to give a lot of credit to Sean McDermott for the ascension of Josh Allen, that whole team, and now they have an identity. They know how they want to play, and they are truly a contender. So I got to put Sean McDermott on there.
This is the season that we'll figure out if it was Sean McDermott or Brian Dable. I'll say about that.
We'll see. Typically, the head coaches that stay are the reason why that team was, you know. Are we doing where I go again? All right. At number 5, I got Mr. Consistency, man. Mike Tomlin, Steelers.
At number 5?
Number 5. To me, man, like, if the Steelers could go into a science chamber and conjure up a head coach, it was Mike Tomlin, bro. Like, it doesn't matter the type of on-field, off-field situation. Go win us our 9 games. Let's go be a contender when we're healthy, and let's just keep winning. Never had a losing season. I just, you know, I was talking about early on before I saw Kenny Pickett play. Oh, this might be one. It might not be. This motherfucker probably go win 9-10 games again. If not, you know, really surprised. Like, they could technically, really, legitimately win the division. It would not surprise me if they did.
You grade hard. I need to see your 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Okay.
My 5 is Matt Leflore. He's 5 for obvious reasons.
Have Sean McDermott at 5. I just look at what he's done with Buffalo, and Josh Allen. FIFO, you said it, like, he looked like shit, and it's not all Sean McDermott. There's a lot of those other coaches as well, and they have gotten their respect, but nah, I think he is the guy that's kind of making all of that stuff go. So yeah, I got him at 5.
At 5, I got Kyle Shanahan. I think what he did with Matt Ryan, who's, I think he overachieved with getting Jimmy G that far, having that type of subpar talent back there playing quarterback, going to a Super Bowl a couple of times. A couple calls messed him up to where he doesn't have a ring, but I would still put him at that position, Kyle Shanahan.
Okay.
It's crazy. I got Kyle Shanahan 5 too. Similar to what Lou said, but mostly just because of the fact that he be right there. Wherever you put that quarterback, I talk more shit about Jimmy G on this program than probably anybody. But he still put them in the position to be in that one throwaway, literally twice, one throwaway, all on Jimmy G though. So yeah, I got Kyle Shanahan at number 5. Number 4, I got Sean McVay. Sean McVay won a Super Bowl, so of course he's gonna be on the list. Recently won a Super Bowl, so of course he's gonna be on the list. And he's been to 2 already in his young career. This nigga is not even 40 yet, I don't believe. And he's already been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won against one of the greatest head coaches, you know, if not the greatest head coach of all time, and almost won if maybe he has a different quarterback. So I like his schemes. I like how he just runs a football team, honestly. I don't really think there's any bad thing you can say about it, or anyone has said about him. And he's youthful, but he's still experienced because he's been in football since he was probably in his diapers.
Yeah.
So I fuck with Sean McVay. Sean McVay at number 4.
We had the same 2 for the last 2. Mine, Sean McVay too. Like, for all the reasons that you just said, the boy wonder of the NFL per se. I would say the only thing is he probably gonna be done with this pretty soon. From how I've heard him in the interviews and shit, I think the only downside to
they were talking about his retire. Him and Donald were retiring and shit.
I think he's gonna give it a couple more years. Just from how I heard him talk, though, I think the only downside to the success that he's seen is us as fans. We ain't gonna see him coaching for maybe 2-3 more years long.
See, he in LA, so he probably got a good ass. Cause I mean, he won the title in LA. He good for life.
Hey, did y'all work on y'all list together?
Nah, he been cheating off my list. I don't know what the hell he be doing.
I bring this so it don't look like I.
Nah, he got chicken scratch on that damn notebook.
He got the little dirty notebook. I'm trying to figure out what's up with this Chucky's notebook you got.
That's what I was saying. This nigga he got that I know what you did last summer notebook.
Right.
Hey, and that ain't the same one because that one clean.
Damn. The other one down there.
I didn't know they made them that small. Yeah, 4 I have.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I couldn't.
She made him get small.
Oh, that was a good one. I have Sean McVay at number 4 too, man. I mean, shit. He went to the Super Bowl with fucking what's the guy name?
We don't need to say it.
And then in Detroit, Jared Goff. It was on Nick's top 8 that year. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Oh man, he argued us up and down, Spike,
He was
about
top
this
8
shit.
at like 8, or did I say some shit like that? I didn't say he was number 1.
tried to push
He
it
had
down.
an MVP. You talking about MVP season with Carson
now
Wentz?
it makes sense why you don't like Herbert. You don't know QB time.
No.
You just can't tell what a QB is good enough. That's it.
I don't like inconsistency, which is why he's not
Which is why
even
you chose
listed on my.
Nick never mentioned his
I
name
never mentioned his name after that season. He couldn't back it up, but he was at that point in time. He was top 8. He was MVP candidate.
That may be the other dude that I take Daniel Jones over to. If I'm the Lions, I'd drive Jared Goff to the airport for Daniel
tripping.
Jones.
Yeah.
Definitely got more time.
Well, anyway, yeah. So he went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff and he won one with Matt Stafford. Mm-hmm. So he got a little bit more talent. And he managed to pull it off. So yeah.
I got McDermott at 4. And I put him up there that high because I think the Buffalo, it goes a lot to him and the GM. They work well together, and they got that team rolling like a train. Ain't really much you can do with Buffalo other than, heroic effort by Kansas City. And that would have been them in that Super Bowl without that. I just believe that. I think
it
that
was a
team
heroic effort. Nigga, it was just
plays in 16 seconds, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying the way if you look at
It's pretty heroic.
it was one pass to Travis Kelce, and then it was a 40-50 yard curl route.
That's like saying I mean, when he pushed Craig Elo.
No, I'm saying like the scheme was just, it wasn't that complex. It was
But wait, hold on. Why do we have to give extra points for complexity versus execution? In a high pressure moment,
because
that is what gets extra points.
Because I know in that play it wasn't designed to be, this is the play that's going to get us a touchdown to win the game.
But you have Patrick Mahomes who made it into that play.
No, you had Tyreek Hill who was the fastest nigga on the field.
Who else? What other? I would say what other quarterback would have been able to do that?
I'm not saying there is another quarterback. I'm saying
the effort that was put forth.
The coach, the defensive coach is what I'm talking about. That was a shit ball. 13 seconds. You can't hold a nigga for 13 seconds.
No.
If we starting at the 25 and you don't hold me 13 seconds, did I out scheme you or you play shitty defense?
Nick,
or do you have Patrick Mahomes?
Nick, let me
That's
ask
the
you
point.
something. There's something that every defender says regardless of the sport.
What they say?
There's no defense for the perfect
Offense.
Good
offense always
a
be
perfect
good
shot,
defense.
a perfect pass, a perfect whatever. There's nothing you can. It don't matter the scheme. It don't matter if you were 6'7" with a 12-foot fucking reach span, bro. Mahomes is gonna make that fucking play.
So throughout that whole game, you thought Kansas City had the perfect offense.
No. What I'm saying is that Mahomes is the number 1 quarterback because of this reason right here.
Yeah.
It don't matter what the situation. We down goddamn 13 points with 2 minutes to go, and we got 3 timeouts. Well, shit, we got a chance.
We got that dude.
We got a chance.
Yeah.
Number 15 back. We got a chance, bro.
It was an improbable situation.
That's what I'm saying. Because 15 seconds left in that game, you was looking like, oh, Patty about to get sent home by this white boy. It wasn't like Patty. You was like, damn, Patty got a chance.
but Patty showed up and showed you
He
that
did,
shit.
but at the time, I'm saying,
Wait, hold on. Who else did you just mention? You said with the bump off.
Jordan.
MJ, right?
Yeah,
Look, you this side of the room is a little old enough to remember visually seeing it, right? Every time, even as a little kid growing up in Chicago, I always had a sense in those clutch
You know
moments.
what you're about to say. It wasn't the time that Jordan went out there that you didn't think he was going to win.
Exactly, bro. And Mahomes is there now.
Bro. And Mahomes is damn
Mahomes
near.
had time with the ball.
So you were shocked when the Bengals beat the Chiefs?
Yes.
Your jaw dropped.
I was shocked when they didn't get that score at the end of the first half. I was shocked.
Yeah.
If they don't score in those positions, I'm shocked. It's like Steph Curry. I'm shocked he missed that wide open shot. Shit. I'm shocked. That's where he's at.
Yeah.
But that's the reason for me. I just think that Buffalo team is is excelling right now, and coaching has a lot to do with it because nobody knew Josh Allen would be what he is right now.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
So that's why I put him so high. Also, one other thing, I don't know if y'all knew this, but Kyle Shanahan has had 3 losing seasons in his last 5 years.
With Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback? Same quarterback? That's what you're talking about? Okay.
In the NFC West with multiple injuries.
Just want to make sure.
I'm just saying,
Just want to make
put
sure
him in that
we're talking
list,
about the
though.
dude that-
So
we can get to all that.
Yeah,
we can
we get
debate
to it.
it
I'm
later.
sorry.
Talk about Kyle Shanahan, number 4, Kyle Shanahan, 49ers. Look at his record.
3 losing seasons in 5 years.
That's fine. Look at his record against his division. Look at his records against the other top coaches. He demolishes them. Like when we're talking scheme for scheme, he's one of the top schemers in the game. And just like how you like my guy Sean McVay, was he first? Run first. We're going to run this damn ball. Stop that, and then we'll see what else. So I love Kyle Shanahan, obviously. You know, everybody know that watch this show, how much I like Kyle Shanahan, but it is what it is. Number 3, man, the old guy, man, Bill Belichick, bro.
Shit.
You know, obviously a lot of him being at number 3 has to do with past success. Undeniable, all of the championships.
He still went to the playoffs last year.
Still went to the playoffs. Rookie, quarterback last year, they looked decent. You know, obviously it wasn't like a major step down from Tom. Well, yeah, it was. It's Tom Brady.
Yeah,
But
it's going from Tom Brady to a rookie.
Tom Brady to a rookie,
Yeah.
but they kept it together. You know what I'm saying? It didn't look like a whole chaotic mess. They did spend a lot of free agency, but Bill Belichick is the glue right now to that entire franchise. So for them to do what they did with a rookie quarterback,
With no weapons.
well, 2 tight ends, you know, that's kind of how they like to
I'm
play.
saying like last season. Are you talking about the new tight ends they got or the tight ends they had?
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Hunter Henry was hurt last year, wasn't he?
He played a
Yeah, he
little
was.
bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was hurt.
They had running backs. That's what
Yeah.
they had.
They had running backs.
They had a ton of running backs.
No wide receivers. They still don't have no damn wide receivers. But it is what it is. Again, Bill Belichick is the glue to that entire organization. So, plus past previous wins, got to be top 3.
That's your number 3?
My number 3 is Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is up there for a lot of the reasons you mentioned earlier. And I think he deserves a lot of respect because you know he's going to be exactly where he is. All those winning seasons speaks volumes. And 3 may even be disrespectful to him. But
I got Bill Belichick too. There's been this silly conversation: is it Brady? Is it Belichick? I mean, they were just at the hip for all these years. Brady went to a perfect situation in Tampa, and he got a Super Bowl off of it. He didn't play great in the playoffs. He made plays when he needed to play it, but that defense, much like when Manning won his, did a lot of the dirty work for Brady, and Brady got his title.
Talk about it.
And Belichick, outside of the COVID season where a lot of the players just didn't play.
Defense.
Last year with the rookie quarterback, he went to the playoffs. And it'll be interesting to see what happened this year. But nevertheless, to be able to do that speaks to the volumes of how well he can coach. So
My 3 is Andy Reid. I got Andy Reid just based off longevity, what he did in Philly, bringing that to Kansas City consistently. Even though he got Patty Mahomes back there, I won't slight him for having one of the best ever to do it.
Picked him.
He did pick him. You're right, and he's put him into effect. Took him to a level that we didn't see or probably know that he had.
And traded up to get him.
He's seen all of that, and the play call and all of the stuff is why I put Andy Reid at 3. I can't ignore though the previous, slip-ups that he had in the playoffs and things of that nature. It was the only reason that I got him at 3. Due to his recent success, he may have been higher, but he can't go above my other 2. So, Reid.
At 3, I have Mike Tomlin. The fact that he hasn't had a losing season is the reason why he'll always be top 3 to me. And that's as a Bengals fan who can't stand the Steelers. You just respect the coach and the consistency. And I think an underrated thing about Mike Tomlin is that he, outside of him managing men, he knows how to just deal with the noise outside of that too. Because Pittsburgh is to me, it's like the Dallas Cowboys of the Midwest. Where as far as that brand is so strong and so loud and I know you ain't gonna
I won't
say
let you get it off.
they have more success than y'all, but it's so strong and loud that It literally it's coastal. There's Steelers fans on the West Coast, far east, down south, in the middle of bumfuck USA. He knows how to deal with all that. They be calling for his head every damn day. Even with all the winning he has, and he's still coming there prepared, ready to go. Maybe even more prepared than the coach on the other side of the field. So I out of respect for that, how he controls that, and the locker room, and he still wins. It's like, come on, bro. You get this motherfucker a quarterback. He been dealing with a shitball quarterback for the last 2-3 seasons. You give him Brady or what's his name? Anybody who's just
it don't matter
above average.
You know what? That's the one place Dan can go and maybe they might win.
They would turn it around for him
because of Tomlin.
That's how much Tomlin is. Yeah, the whole. Culture.
Nonetheless, Mike Tomlin is number 3 on my list. Number 2, I gotta go with Bill Belichick. Like Ken said, outside of that COVID season, bro, this motherfucker just win. He win games. Whatever quarterback you're talking about, he's probably the number 1 head coach I can assign to any quarterback and be like, they gonna win games. I don't think that you can say that about any other coach really who doesn't have their guy. You know what I'm saying? And I think Belichick may even shock people this season. I want to make a hellacious hot take, but I'll say Belichick ain't going nowhere. He's number 2.
My number 2 is also Bill Belichick for the reason.
You gotta sit across the room. It's like a spades, bro. He over here. Look, bro.
I wanted to move, so I wouldn't have to go after you this time. But no, my number 2 is Belichick. You can pretty much depend on what he's gonna come and do. I love the quote that he just had today when they were asking him continuously about the offensive coordinator. He was like, ultimately, this shit fall on me, right? It's my shit. I'm responsible for it every year, so I don't know why y'all so worried about who calling the plays. And that's just the approach that he always takes, and I appreciate that. He ain't never passing the buck. He always stand up there. The culture that he set, even long beyond when players leave there, they talk about that. And I think that's part of coaching. That's part of the impact that you bring to it, not to mention the things he's done on the field.
Number 2, I have Andy Reid. And shout out to Patrick Mahomes, because I think Patrick Mahomes may have just saved this dude's legacy. Because, as you alluded to, Spike, before then, I mean, shit, 5 straight NFC championships.
No W.
You know, he get to the Super Bowl, Matt Knapp throwing up and shit. Fucking damn Terrell Owens out there running on a fucking broke fucking foot, balling out. You know, so, but yeah, and then after that, we had a negative, everybody had a negative look on Andy Reid. Andy Reid wasn't shit until Patrick Mahomes came along. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, the greatest offensive caller. Yeah, it's just like, where did this happen?
He did ball out with Alex Smith.
He did. I know. Yeah, he won games with Alex Smith. This is true. Thanks for the reminder. But yeah, I got Andy Reid. He got the ring. But that old Andy Reid starting to creep back up.
Chill out. We're going to move
on. I'm just saying, look the last couple of years.
He's been in 4 AFC title games straight.
Yeah, and the old line fell apart 2 years ago.
That's the Andy Reid from Philly.
That was an uncontrollable.
That's the Andy Reid from Philly, bro. It's damn near mirror. The only difference is they won the Super Bowl.
Because they had Mahomes.
Yep.
And not McNabb.
No, they had Jimmy G was on the other side.
Yeah.
Shelton, who you got as your number 2?
My number 2 is Sean McVay. He's a Super Bowl champion. And he got those guys ready.
You said it like you said number 2. It sounded like you wanted to say you gave the number 1 credentials and shit.
Okay,
Super Bowl champion.
Nah,
that's all I need to say. Well, then why you number 2?
I mean, he's just a good coach, and it shows in the play of that team because you know to win a Super Bowl with no running backs, in my opinion, they had nobody running the ball at all. With that team is just remarkable. So I got to put him at 2. So for me, number 2, Andy Reid. Obviously, y'all said a lot about Pat Mahomes. To me, you know, sometimes we want to, when we talk about coaches, take away some, you know, cool points or whatever because of the players that they may have. But what happens when they pick those guys and they said, I know you're the guy. They don't know you're the guy, but watch what I do with you. And he made that move. Drafted Tyreek, drafted Kelsey. He called Kelsey's brother to make sure Kelsey was ready to play in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So I love Andy Reid. The main reason why he is number 2 on my list, obviously, you know, previous debacles and things of that nature. But let's be honest. As much as I love Mcvay, as much as I love Shanahan, as much as I love some of these other coordinators and head coaches, the best play designer is Andy Reid. He's the guy that I don't care what your name is in terms of defensive coaches, you up this whole week. You can't sleep. You need to take some melatonin. You need to double and triple up your study because what you saw is not what I'm about to give you. And I think, obviously we don't have NFL contacts like that, but I can guarantee you talk to any NFL defender or coach, they'll tell you, Andy Reid, we don't know what the hell is about to happen. So that's why I got him at number 2. Number 1, Sean McVay. One of the things that you talked about in terms of Bill Belichick, that you listen to any interview about the coaches or the players that play in LA with the Rams, culture. And for him to be the youngest head coach, for him to go to 2 Super Bowls already, for him to have the instant success that he's had, and not only instant success because, I have a play style. Nah, I ran it down y'all throat when I had Todd Gurley. He was the best running back in the league.
I forgot about the name Todd Gurley.
Damn. He ran, I can't even say it was McVay that ran him into the ground. Todd Gurley just wasn't. He
wasn't built for it.
He wasn't built for that. It is what it is. But I squeezed every ounce and juice that I had out of that. We went to a Super Bowl. I had a mediocre quarterback. It is what it is. He also, what was it, Monday night? One of the best shootouts ever.
With Kansas City.
With Kansas City. Like Jared Goff looked like Joe Montana that damn night. You know what I'm saying? You listen to how everybody talks about him, and you want to look at head-to-head coaching. Shit, look at McVay's record. McVay goes toe-to-toe with any coach you put on the other side of him. McVay won with a quarterback that people deem not winnable. He took a lot of rejects and people that don't, whatever. He's won with those guys. You know who he reminds me of? Is a more modern version of Bill Parcells. People buy into him. He, obviously it's different. It's not like Bobby Knight back in the day. We got to kick and scream and shit. But McVay understands culture, our culture. You know what I'm saying? Got the music, got this, got that. And he wins. To me right now, going into the season, there's not a better head coach than Sean McVay.
Give me Andy Reid as my number 1. And the main reason is he makes more stars than anybody, and superstars at that, than what we talked about, than anybody in the league. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire, we talked about breakout seasons. He's probably going to have one. I think he's going to be on that level this year. So
he may not even have a starting job by the end of the season.
Yes, he will. Well, as long as he's healthy.
He's nice. I like that guy. LSU.
As long as he's healthy,
LSU, he was a dog.
Yeah, he ain't did shit in the NFL.
And that's with Andy Reid.
Yes, which we had. I was like, oh shit, you going to Andy Reid? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh shit, you gonna ball out?
I thought so too. People in fantasy thought the same thing.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna be fine. He a couple of injury bugs got to him. I think he'll be good this year.
I hope really do. I like him. I like him a lot. Y'all know, man. Shit. Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, bro. Shit. He black.
Yeah.
That's all. What else I got to say? Yeah. I mean, shit. For what he did last year, for Big Ben's last, ride out and stuff like that, man. And we'll see what they do this year. But he is that guy. And I think you were spot on with. You talk about culture, a man's man, a leader among men, managing those personalities that he didn't get credit for, and we saw what happened when they left.
Boy,
so
if Frank Wright had the resume of Mike Tomlin, we'll be talking about him like he's fucking Vince Lombardi.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a full bean. If he went through all the shit that Mike Tomlin went through, success and failures, they still would talk about this motherfucker like he's the greatest head coach of all time.
Yes.
So
Mike Tomlin barely gets even mentioned. Only gets mentioned when it comes to bad shit.
Yeah.
That's
he's my guy.
Number 1 for me also as well, Mike Tomlin, because black, and also just culture is going to be a big thing as far as number 1. When you talk about winning on the field, of course, Belichick has a better resume. But one of the things that you never heard in the sense of he had a Hall of Fame quarterback in Roethlisberger, it was never, is it Mike Tomlin or Roethlisberger? It's always, even you picking them to win the division, you know what you're going to get with Mike Tomlin. There's no losing season, man's man. I'm here to coach. I ain't here to bullshit y'all. I'm going to get up here and do my job from the the press box, with the personalities. Like it all lines up. I was listening to him do a interview on the Pivot, and they were asking him about having to start over in the rebuild, and he was so excited about it, and it wasn't bullshit. He was like, "This is when I get to do my job. This is what I get paid for, to coach. I don't get paid to manage personalities and do this, tell this guy, pat him on the back, tell him he's doing good. I get paid to make people better." And the way that he embraces that and the culture that he has, it's never been in question. Even with Belichick, it's been in question when Brady left. It's never been there with Tomlin since he started there. He got a career seat in Pittsburgh. And I think even with Belichick, it would come to a point where Kraft would be like, "Is it still working?" You're never going to have that conversation in Pittsburgh.
First losing season he has, they're having that conversation.
Absolutely.
But I want to ask you, you fuck with the Pivot?
Yeah, absolutely. I fuck with
Better
it.
than I Am Athlete?
I don't listen to I Am Athlete. The Pivot, I've never listened to it. I like Crowder. Crowder's he brings a different personality, and I don't think none of the rest of them got on I Am Athlete.
Gotcha.
That's the kind of one I had to
You don't like
fight
him?
through. I mean, he all right, but he's
Oh, you didn't
my
like the
least
Mike
favorite.
Tomlin interview?
Yeah, it was cool. I'm saying he's my least favorite.
Just as a
of
personality.
the cast.
Oh, Crowder.
Yeah, Crowder.
Yeah, he weird, but I think he brings something different from like left
Yeah,
field for them
yeah.
that I appreciate.
I kind of like the other
Like the
cast.
setup. Yeah.
I need to check them.
I didn't like
ain't
Brandon
checked them
Marshall
out
as the leader of the whole thing. I thought he was a great panelist, but
Yeah,
I checked them out. I ain't listened to them yet. I think all the Pivot guys played perfect off of each other.
Chad with these guys would be good.
I even like what I Am Athlete did. They little rebrand with Pac-Man Jones and who else they got up there? They got they added like LaShawn
I wanted
McCoy and
them
shit
to
like
have
that.
T.O. That's what I wanted to be on there with them boys.
Ain't nobody work with him.
Hey man, don't say Joe Judge, man. He ain't coaching no more.
No. I got Zach Taylor as number saying no. I ain't got. It's Andy Reid. Last 4 seasons, y'all know me. I'm a simple man. I try to be at least. It's all about wins and losses for me with it. Last 4 seasons, 4 straight AFC top. That means he is either going to the game or is right at the doorstep at the big dance. You know what I'm saying? He went to 2 out of 4, won 1 out of the 2. And literally, if it wasn't for the greatness of Joey B, could have went to 3 Super Bowls damn near back to back. If not, you know what I'm saying? So I don't see how you can say this isn't the best head coach in the league right now. I don't see how you can't be excited for what he can do without Tyreek and these new weapons. I think he is, with as much pressure as he probably has, he probably is the head coach with the most pressure on him after how they lost last season and going into this season. I think so because people look at Ken. Ken already questioned the motherfucker saying bad Andy back.
I think he had the most expectation.
That's pressure.
But
It ain't do or die though.
exactly.
I'm not saying he's gonna get fired if he don't do it. But it's
That's
still
what
pressure.
it feels like. How you said it.
No, I mean as far as
Winning
like
pressure. I
the
give you that. I
expectation.
give you that.
You
I
have
give
the
you
best quarterback in the league, right?
You supposed to be,
Arguably, you have the best offensive mind in the league, arguably. It's an offensive league.
That's high end.
Y'all been to the Super Bowl ain't new to y'all. Y'all deep playoff team success. You got Hall of Famers on the roster still.
But you don't feel that because of how the AFC West is now shaped up that there's a little bit like, well, you know, maybe
he had
win the division.
The Chiefs had to win. The Chiefs have, I don't think since Mahomes has started, have won less than 12 games in a season. I may be correct. It's between 11 and 12. So to win that division takes 11 to 12 games nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. I think that's something I heard that from Nick Wright. So seeing that number and then seeing what this division looks like, it's going to take you about that to win the division. It ain't going to take you 10 games, especially with an extra game in the season now. It ain't going to take you 9, 10, 11. It's going to take you 12 plus. I think the Chiefs are the only team in that division where you can be like, I can see 12 games out of this team. Regardless of what that schedule looked like, I've seen them face the best and the worst, and he still come out on top.
I can see any team in that division winning 12 games.
Yep.
I can't.
Yep.
Any team.
Because I've never seen the Chargers win 12 games, so I can't see that. The Raiders, I don't know how much you trust Derek Carr, which I don't think y'all be thinking about Derek Carr like that.
They don't.
Well,
And as far as the Broncos, yeah, they upgraded at QB, but it's still the Broncos. We already talked about how they had the worst offense in the whole division. So again, like I said, if we're going toe for toe, who's the best quarterback in the division? Some people say it's a toss
Have a
up.
better offense than the Giants.
Yeah.
Shit.
I wouldn't be surprised. I see what you're saying about the Chiefs, and you're right. I wouldn't be surprised if they won 12. But again, with the talent that's in that division, I wouldn't be surprised if anyone, if the Raiders went 13 and 4, I wouldn't be shocked.
I would be shocked.
I would too.
How the
I
fuck
wouldn't
are
be
you
shocked.
saying 13?
They went to the
4?
playoffs last year.
So
Okay, the Chargers didn't, but you still got them up there and possibly winning 12 games too.
Because they
I
probably
like
have
that
the best
quarterback.
roster.
Now, I'm not saying the Raiders are going to do that at all. I don't think they'll do
you
that.
saying you would be shocked?
I wouldn't be shocked though, just
I
because
would.
of the
I would
talent.
definitely be
Hell
shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Derek Carr, bro.
Yeah.
That's a toss up.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. In that division, who has the most weapons? I think
The
Derek
Chiefs.
Carr-
The Raiders.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
The Raiders.
McCole and who?
No,
And Kelsey.
It's the second week in a row we done went over the Raiders receiving, like with Waller.
I'm talking about as a collective.
yeah.
All the pieces that the Chiefs have, you only got one star, really.
The Chiefs have the worst running back in the division.
Who the hell? They've always had the worst running back in the division.
But that's just a starting point.
They have the best receiver by far, though. The
Who?
Raiders do. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's not close.
Okay, you have the
not
star.
even close.
Who else do they? I mean, Darren Waller.
Tight end is basically.
That's not even. Don't even do that. Don't disrespect Travis Kelce like that. Let's keep it a full bean.
That's fine. They got
Don't
the second
disrespect
best tight
Travis
end. Fine,
Kelce.
that's cool.
Okay.
That's cool. They got the second best tight end.
Second
Okay.
best. Then Jacobs.
He's
He gone.
Jacobs ain't even gone. Come on.
Jacobs
You got
ain't
the
even-
white
Jacobs
boy.
gone.
He's not because they were talking about trading
Is he
him.
top 10 in his
Nothing.
position?
Yeah.
No,
Absolutely.
absolutely
Without
not.
you even thinking about all 10
Jacobs
running backs?
Not top 10 running back in his
No.
position? Based off what?
Based off of.
I mean, he put the
What do you
yards
mean
up.
based off what?
Why wouldn't
What
he
you
be
would
there?
base it off of?
The
Mike?
yards, production.
Okay.
He put the production up.
Okay.
They need him to be there. He there. He just the first time he's gotten hurt this season. Why wouldn't he be a top 10 running back?
Because he played first game of preseason.
Because it's
you don't do that for a
Many
top
other
10
running
running back.
backs.
Ain't none of their starters. Ain't no
Hey,
starter
man,
running back.
he must be in Vegas living it up. They trying to get him out of Vegas.
We seen how they do. We see how these Raiders
they
live
cut
up in
Kenyon
Vegas.
Drake. They're gonna cut Kenyon Drake, so he might be.
Yeah, they gonna cut Kenyon Drake. He terrible.
But he rushed for 872 yards last year.
That's top 10 in the league.
That's not top 10.
872?
Yes,
Hell
absolutely.
no.
That's
top
top 10 in
15.
the
That's
league.
top 15.
People barely getting 1,000 yards now. That's got to be top 10. In the
No,
league.
not the top
1,000
10
yards,
players.
easy.
Yeah, not the top 10 players. They don't barely get 1,000 yards.
You can get 1,000 yards doing 80 yards a game. I
If
think
that.
that's the math.
But okay.
Let's get to these.
Yeah, let's get to
other
these
ones.
bottom four. Let's bottom four. So I'll
It's
start.
not technically a bottom four. You
Shit, if you're on a hot seat, you one of the worst
Nah, but-
positions. For
Well,
but it you said hot seat. They're that's different than the worst four.
okay, I'll concede to that. I had an honorable mention, but I'll say that for later. Number 4, I got Frank Wright, coach of the Colts. Like any relationship, after a while, it starts to become a you problem. If you can't make it work with anyone else after over a standard period of time. He's had Phillip Rivers. He had Carson Wentz. Now he has Matt Ryan. If they don't win, I'll say if they don't even make the playoffs. I think they'll make if they make the playoffs, he probably gets another year, another extension. If they don't make the playoffs this season,
Yeah.
and it's arguably they may not unless they win their division.
Mm-hmm.
So that Tennessee in their division could be an issue. Because to me, if they don't win the division, there's no way they're getting in the playoffs.
Didn't they make him take Carson Wentz? You don't know that.
No, he won it.
He went
after.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. He's already in the.
job for that.
Ursay got that nigga out quick. He went on the radio. Was like, this nigga shitball, and he is not a part of our organization again.
What do you need? He ain't coming back.
This nigga popped the bean and went on the radio.
My number 4.
You know how Ursay get down.
Yeah, he does.
My number 4 been on the hot seat since that Super Bowl called in Seattle. Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll, you ship your Russell Wilson quarterback, franchise quarterback leaves. You put all of that stock into Jamal Adams coming in to being the playmaker. You got to find a way now to get your star receivers the ball. I'm not even sure who they special. Key players are on the outside. So I feel like that Pete Carroll is going. You got to get it done this year, and I'm not sure how he do it. So that's definitely somebody that I could see being mentioned very early for on their way out.
I have Frank. I agree with a lot of things that Nick said. What I'll add is that if you look at last year, there were some winnable games where the coach should have won that games. And Carson Wentz bore the brunt of a lot of that. He deserved some of it, but Frank just skated fucking by. You're like, come on, man. Some of that shit that they were doing, like, they were winnable games. So yeah, he does not escape that at all. And now you got Matt Ryan. Now we know Matt Ryan can win fucking games. That's like there's no question about it.
In the regular season,
So
you solid.
Yep. Phillip Rivers was on the downhill. Carson Wentz was iffy and played out as he was to a lot of people. And now Matt Ryan, there's no questions. The only question now will be him. So give me Frank at 4.
I had Pete Carroll. A lot of the reasons that you said. Plus, I just think that they're ready for a new start in Seattle. I think this will be the year. I mean, even though it sucks for him because he has no quarterback, but I think when they do draft a quarterback next year, they'll want to start with a new coach. So I think unless he can figure out a way to win with this roster, which I don't see how he can, I think he'll be the one that's let go.
And I think he's one of the older coaches in the league.
He is. He's been there like 30. I forgot how many.
I forgot how old he was. He like damn near 80.
Yeah.
He older than Belichick.
But it's time for a change. It's
He's
time
good
for
shape
change.
for a white man.
Yeah, he is.
All right, number 4. Got your favorite coach, man, Matt Rule, Panthers.
Can't believe
Yeah,
he
number
won.
4. Obviously, incredible hot seat. Last year, they traded for a number 1 pick in Sam Darnold. This year, they traded for another number 1 pick and Baker Mayfield. And if your wagon is attached to Baker, y'all know how I love Baker on this telecast. If your wagon is attached to Baker Mayfield, you ain't going nowhere. Now, he does look a lot better than Sam Darnold. He went in there, and the players talk about commanding the offense, this, that, and the third. But I think Matt Rule's on a very short leash. Why? Because it's a bad division. You arguably have the second best quarterback in that division. And
Which one?
the one that he chose to start. And it's time to win some games. And if they don't win, which I don't think so, because the talent just is not there, he's out of there. So I think he's in a pressure situation. At number 3, give me Mike McCarthy, Cowboys. Yeah, you look at a lot of his late game situational football, arguably the worst in the league. And here's the thing. I'm not a Cowboy hater. I just don't like the fans that are not realistic. I'm not saying that that's not you. You're very.
I thought he was gonna say I'm not a Cowboy hater. I just hate the Cowboys.
These fans that think that every year is a Super Bowl year is like, nah. Let's be realistic. Now they do have a lot of foundational pieces that I like. And if you give me any one of the coaches that I had in my top 6 and give me that roster, I'd be like, they're gonna win the NFC East and they're a Super Bowl contender. Mm-hmm. But because of Mike, legitimately the head coach, they're not. And I think that Jerry understands. First of all, I don't have a lot of time on this earth, and I want to win another Super Bowl. And I think that Mike McCarthy's good enough to give him some rope. The rope is the season, and how that season plays out is you yank him or you leave him. I think he's that, the cachet he has as a coach, but I think he's in an extremely hot seat because you got a quarterback, you got a run game, you got defenders now, you got playmakers. You don't win, bro. That's on you.
What's winning?
Got to win the division. Got to make the playoffs.
Jerry Jones don't fire anybody, bro.
He don't fire nobody mid-season.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He don't
That's what
fire
I'm
coaches
saying.
like that.
He's going to have the season. His rope is the season. How that thing ends, next year you're not going to be here, or you
So
might.
division round? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is they got to make the playoffs.
Just make the playoffs? Okay.
Win the division. Make the playoffs.
Who you got, Sheldon?
Give me Cliff Kingsbury. I think that the Cardinals are through the first 8 games of every season that they've been there. They've been a great team. They've been world beaters. But the last half of every season is when we see the Cardinals struggle, and we see them look awful, and they are yet to get over the hump. So I really think that they're going to look, since they gave Kyler this money.
That's why I was surprised you put him on the list.
They gave Kyler the money.
No, they extended Kingsbury too.
All the attention is going to be on Kingsbury, and they're going to look for him to show some improvements this year. And if for some reason they struggle, I think that he's going to be the short man on the end of the stick.
I think the short man is Kyler already.
Yeah,
Literally.
Yeah, I got Pete Carroll, and at 3rd, I kind of questioned this because I thought he may have bought some time when they got rid of Russ, and I thought the organization may have made their decision, and that was to go with Pete Carroll, and that since they know they don't have Russell Westbrook, that I always do that. Russell Wilson, they know that they're not going to be able to win, but they weren't winning when they had him. So, and I think that they may look at that. So I think he's probably on the short end of the stick here. Or I think he's on the way out.
3 for me is Ron Rivera. I do not think.
We're not Riverboat Ron.
Yeah, I don't think that. First of all, the owner's unstable, so it could be totally he doing his job and he just wanted to revamp and do something new. I think the Ron's going to be tied in with Wentz. He's going to be tied in with the rehaul that's done in Washington after they sucked this season. And you have an owner that's really not tapped in, so he won't be able to say, no, we got a good coach. We want him to stay and do the rebuild with us. I don't think that Daniel Snyder's going to be able to do that. So Ron Rivera, after the Redskins sucked this season, will lose his job.
Commanders,
excuse me. Damn.
I didn't even catch it.
At number 3, I have Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland Browns. With the Browns, they have done a lot of good, but they also have mortgaged their whole future on somebody who mortgaged his whole future doing some goofy shit or putting himself in a situation that's goofy. So to me, it's like he bought himself a year with the Deshaun Watson and obviously with the NFL jumping in now that basically this year is a wash. However, next year is the biggest pressure year. I think more pressure almost as much as Mike McCarthy if he passed this season, just because now you have Deshaun Watson, you got a great defense. They can probably add more weapons and stuff during this upcoming offseason. I think Cleveland, the owner at least, will be like, y'all need to get us to fucking, like, we saw what Burrow did, nigga, in the same division. Lamar Jackson out here got an MVP. Pittsburgh don't lose. What can we say about Cleveland? Like, what is there really to brag now about Cleveland? Yeah, y'all got talent, but y'all been had talent. When are you, like FIFO said, when y'all gonna win games? So I think Kevin Stefanski going into this season and the continuation of next season based off how this season goes, he's in the hot seat as well. Low key, the lowest of keys. Number 2. So now my top 2 are like the hottest seats. Number 2, I got Brandon Staley. That how you pronounce that motherfucker?
From the Eagles?
For the Chargers.
Oh, excuse me, from the Chargers now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you don't even know who the Chargers head coach is.
Didn't he just get there?
He got there. He got there after he got fired. I mean, after Black Dude got fired.
Yeah. This is his second season.
Yeah.
Second season. He on the hot seat. He on the hot seat
He on
because
your hot seat.
No.
he on.
Only
He
hot
on.
seat.
If you listen to sports talk radio, as much expectations as out Justin Herbert, there has to be as much pressure on the head coach. Because like FIFO and them said, we're going through the list. This is why I'm happy we do the list before the season. Because this sets expectations of where we have these teams, these players, these positions. Going into the season, Chargers arguably have the best roster, if not a top 2 offense and defense, especially just talent-wise. Scheme and all that stuff, that's why we're talking about the coaches. This is why I'm saying we've talked about, Ken brought it up as far as gameplay situations. Frank Wright didn't make a certain play calls. I constantly bring up how the fact that this motherfucker keep going on 4th downs. I want to see his 4th down percentage because it wasn't good in that Raiders game. It wasn't Sheldon.
No.
I don't think it was good at all. So it wasn't good in a couple other games too. So people are going to notice that. They're going to say you probably have an MVP at quarterback, got all the weapons you want on offense, got all the weapons you want on defense. If y'all don't win if y'all don't get to the playoffs this season, regardless of who y'all in division, you could have Joe Montana, John Elway, and Tom Brady. With the roster he got, people still gonna be like, y'all should be in there too. So with that being said, if he doesn't win this, go into the playoffs, I even maybe extend it to a playoff game, but I ain't gonna go that too far because they just need to get there. If they don't get to the playoffs and they go out, belly out again, he out. And I'll say this: if he's out, I could see what's his name, Sean Payton come in and coach the Chargers.
I would prefer that.
That's because if he's out, that's the hottest. That's probably the best.
Oh yeah.
Situation to go to. That's like Steve Kerr with the Warriors when Mark Jackson left.
Yeah, I looked at him, but I mean, it was his first year, so I ain't ready to put that on him just yet. I think he got another year before they start looking at him.
No, they look now.
My number 2 is Matt Rule. I think he's in an impossible situation as far as trying to win in Carolina. They probably wanted to fire him in the offseason.
Hey, Lou be throwing that shade.
Impossible situation. And as far as him, ownership, I don't think they get along. I've heard reports of that. I just don't think that he wants to be there. They were talking about the whole offseason and how he wasn't half-assed and he was doing his job, of course, but just his attitude towards the organization and theirs back towards him is just a bad situation. And then you got Baker Mayfield starting for you. So I think it'll only be like maybe middle of the season or something like that. I think his seat is that high where he damn near out of there.
They gave that motherfucker, what, 6-7 years?
They gave him a 7-year contract. That's why I didn't have him on my list.
That's what I had him as an honorable mention because he's got 2 quarterbacks, so that means you have no quarterback. So that means that they're going to kick the can one more year on this motherfucker.
I think he's gone.
So, understand that years on a head coach's contract, regardless of the sport, don't mean shit.
I know, but there was some type of commitment that was there. So.
Where does Carolina go to? Do they blow up the whole team if they don't win this year?
Nah, I think they probably study the course. It's just the main person going to go is the head coach.
Yeah. They just need a new at the helm.
Yeah,
somebody else.
Yeah, shit to work
That's
with.
what I was about to say. It ain't just him. It's a lot.
I'm
made
not
a lot
putting
of
even the
those
blame
decisions,
on him. I don't think it was a lot of his fault. I think he had a little to work with. But I just don't think that they're gonna come to an agreement to where he gonna get more time.
There's no more time.
Second on my list is Cliff. I just
Even with the extension.
Yep. FIFO just said it. It don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And
they just gave that motherfucker.
It don't matter, bro.
If we're talking with expectation that things get better, but if we're talking about these second half collapses, everybody's talking about it, and they know about it too. So he may have sold them, a wolf ticket or something to get that extension. But I think they probably think that in 4 years he will definitely be better. But if he's not and this continues, then they're gonna cut their losses, cut bait and run. But nah, man, I think they know. And I think market wise, if you look at the economy, maybe it was cheaper to keep him now than it is to extend him later. Cheaper to keep her.
Hey, boy, that's cheaper to keep. That's a damn near 11th commandment.
my top 2 are definitely gone. I'm telling you that now. Mike McCarthy is my number 2. He's out of there. Ain't nothing he can do.
There's something he can do. It's just the probability of him doing it.
No, Dallas wants him gone. Dallas Nation wants Mike McCarthy. They wanted him gone last year.
They wanted the other guy gone.
Yeah,
they wanted Jason Garrett gone.
But those blunders last year and the fact that team has all this talent and it's wasting.
It's the same situation. They never got rid of him.
They get puppets. They're
gonna get rid of him.
Puppets only are head coaches in Dallas.
He ain't got a choice now because Dallas Nation is turning up.
They always turn tough.
That's what's changed.
What is their measure of success? Because they ain't really had nothing. And I'm saying this because I know there's a Cowboy friend right here. I'm just saying, why y'all want this nigga gone and y'all ain't won shit? Y'all ain't got nothing to be happy about.
I still got one more on my list. So if that answers your question, I'll tell you then.
Yeah, he gotta go. He's gonna be gone.
Okay.
Number 2 on my list, Nick, I agree with you. Brandon Staley, Chargers. Here's the thing. I know that he's only been there 1 year. But you can't go into basically a ready-made situation and not do better than the predecessor. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be movement. And if this year you don't make the playoffs, or if you barely get in and then it looks ugly in the playoffs, you out. You out the door. Because like you said, right? Like Herbert, I'm not gonna say he's a MVP candidate, but I could see him having a crazy breakout year. The team is loaded top to bottom. If I had to rate rosters, that's the best roster, top to bottom. It's very few weaknesses. So if you're a head coach in that situation and it's a young quarterback, moldable quarterback, and you know he already has the IQ and all of the intangibles, 6'4", big arm, smart as hell, and you can't win, you out.
But how many coaches that y'all know of that are not black that get fired that quick? Now,
That's
black
the
coaches
issue.
get fired quick.
That's the
100%.
That's the
But there's not many situations like this.
There isn't, and it's only because again y'all brought it up earlier. Herbert's on a rookie deal. They don't have time to waste because they got to pay this nigga either this year or next year.
Yep.
So if he don't win it this year, that means they got to pay the nigga next year, which means that if that's the case, we might as well get somebody else.
You know how we call the NFL a copycat league, right? It's also copycat of success. So when certain people do certain things, it raises the bar. You're a young quarterback on a rookie deal. Well, shit, you should be able to get to the title game or a Super Bowl. Yeah. With no old line, motherfucker. You got some legs, run.
Because now you got precedent. Patty went to a Super Bowl on a rookie deal. Mm-hmm. Burrow went to a Super Bowl on a rookie deal.
Technically, I agree with that part.
Technically, Carson Wentz went to a Super Bowl.
They're not going to get rid of their coach.
I went back to Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
What'd you say?
He doesn't think that they're going to get rid of
They're not going to get rid of their coaches this quick.
If they don't make the playoffs, you have to.
It depends on how bad they are. If they bad, if they don't.
That's the key thing. That's the key.
But that's a legit concern because
2 years, 3 years since Herbert been there, they haven't made it,
and it's a concern because now the division has even gotten harder.
Yes.
The whole conference has gotten harder.
Yes,
so that's why it's like if we can't win with you, then we know we're gonna find out this year.
100%. Like there's no time to waste because perfect point, Nick. The AFC, we look at the top quarterbacks in the league. It's overwhelmingly in the AFC. Mm-hmm. Overwhelming. So if you can't, we know we got the quarterback. The numbers say it. The intangibles say it.
We spent the money on the team.
We spent the money.
It's you.
It's you. You're the one piece that we can change.
We punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung for this nigga. We want to see this nigga now.
Yeah,
like that's what I'm saying. I agree. And the worst thing about it, on top of that, the icing on the cake is all those quarterbacks mostly are young still too. So they like. I just gotta wait out Brady. I gotta wait out Drew Brees. These niggas are gonna be here for a while. So if we ain't gonna win now, we ain't never gonna win.
I still think a lot plays into that though. It depends on how that team looks. Because you can go out there. For me, in that case, just that case, it won't be wins and losses that I think that they'll judge him on. It'll be how that team is prepared.
Last year was the no wins and losses judgment.
But I think he get 2 years.
We let you compete in the games. We let you. Hey, it was great little effort.
Yeah.
Now this year you got to show up, buddy.
Yeah, because here's the thing. It is about wins and losses because if you're losing close games, who's that on?
Coaching.
The coach. So there's only one change on that roster. Well, I'm not changing the quarterback. I'm not changing the DBs. I'm not changing the O-line. It's the head coach, bro. So
like I said, I agree, but I think he'll get more than 1 year. I don't see them moving on.
That's your two. Who you got at one?
At one, I got Cliff Kingsbury, bro. That shit is. Hey, look, that Cardinal situation is not good.
It's toxic, honestly.
It's very toxic. I don't know what Kyler Murray is as a leader, but I know what Cliff Kingsbury is as not one. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because look, we talked about the greatest coaches, right? Tomlin. We don't hear nothing like that. We know ain't no provision, ain't no damn my franchise quarterback contract about fucking studying. Are we serious? Right. Like to me, what that permeates is lack of a mature person in the organization, in the room. This is how we're moving. I'm paying you millions of dollars. What the fuck am I telling you to study 4 hours for? I'll cut your ass. You know, they're like, what are we doing here? It feels very juvenile, that entire organization. And when I look at it, I like the Hollywood Brown move. I like it because obviously it's a lot of speed and it is a gadget Cliff Kingsbury guy, but he hasn't done nothing with the other guys that he's brought in there outside of D-Hop, right?
You're talking about Christian Kirk and Andy Isabella?
Yeah. Andy hasn't really, found his
Rondale Moore.
Rondale Moore is questionable. He could be a breakout guy. But I don't really love the others. How has the others grown? Kyler has grown because Kyler's that damn good. And to me, you don't grow like that if you're not putting in at least 4 hours of study. You're a fucking NFL quarterback.
Shit, NFL. I mean, look at Vic. What are you talking about? Vic didn't study shit.
Yeah, but Vic ran like a 4.2.
All right, but you can be successful without studying.
No, I agree, but you're not going to have longevity. You're not going to have longevity.
Vic did.
I wouldn't call what Vic's career was long.
Vic didn't go to jail because he was a career.
I will say Vic did go to jail, came back with $100 million. So
he studied a lot in jail.
Yeah, he did. He started studying in jail. He said he ain't had no time.
But I understand your point. Your point is well taken.
And my thing with Cliff Kingsbury is every season that he's been there, that second half of the season looks atrocious. Yeah.
Going back to Texas Tech.
Did we re-up you for more of the same? Can't.
They did. But we'll see how long it lasts.
Like we said, maybe he might not get gone this year, but if it happens the same way, it's a very short lease next year. So I think it's the hottest seat because you have a quarterback that's obviously capable. You have full control. You've gotten the guys that you've wanted. And where has it gotten you? And now the division is weaker. So you're not going to win the division this year? Super Bowl champs in this division. Kyle Shanahan's in this division. What's your record against him? Because it ain't good. Mm-hmm. You got to beat the coaches. You got to beat the quarterbacks in your own division, and they have not done that.
Who got number one?
For mine is Matt Rule. Matt Rule is not just because I'm a fan.
Yes, it is. That's at least 49%.
That's a piece. But Matt Rule has made Carolina into the laughing stock of the league.
Matt Rule. You say that? Say that. I was going to say the same thing. Sure. Was that a Matt Rule thing? I thought.
Matt Rule did that. Matt Rule was the one who advocated for Sam Darnold to come on board.
Okay.
Matt Rule was the one that...
Who was the quarterback before Sam Darnold?
Who was our quarterback before?
Teddy, wasn't it? Teddy?
He brought Teddy in too.
Who was the quarterback before Teddy?
Before Teddy was Cam.
Didn't he have Cam too?
Matt Rule didn't have Cam.
No, he didn't have Cam.
Nah, that was Rivera.
Yeah,
Didn't Cam come back?
That was wrong.
No.
Oh, yeah, he came back and
Cam came back.
Last year though.
That was last year.
I'm just saying he went through a lot of quarterbacks.
He did go through a lot of quarterbacks. But Matt Rule has been a laughing stock. He just is not a good leader.
Hey, Cam,
and nobody's behind that man.
Jog my memory. Wasn't it this man
Absolutely
that really
not.
Matt Rule?
Never liked Matt Rule. You can go back and it's on tape. I never
You
ever
never liked Matt Rule?
Never.
I
I thought that was.
remember.
Let's go back. I hated it.
Hey, chat. Let us know.
I don't
Go
remember.
back.
I don't remember it, but
Keep us honest.
That's
he is
1,000.
he do look like the NFL Archie Bunker.
1,000. I hated it.
Man, he
I hated
awful
Matt Rule.
jeans on with
I thought that was the worst. Because if you recall, I wanted at Bieniemy to come. I wanted a black coach in Carolina. And I said there were several black candidates they passed over for unproven guy in college. He's at Baylor at that. Baylor ain't winning no games like that. That was okay. But I never liked Matt Rule. And I hated the deal.
He's supposed to have like a revolutionary offense.
I watched Baylor play, and Baylor was decent unless they played somebody. Unless they played somebody.
Same thing with Chip Kelly.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated that because Matt Rule, that deal that he got, I was like, that's stupid. Who is Matt Rule to give him all this?
Hey, they say you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate.
That's it.
John Harbaugh.
Number one.
Holy shit.
John Harbaugh.
Preach. I want to hear this.
Yeah,
I do too.
Because John Harbaugh ain't worth shit. Lamar Jackson is the catalyst behind John Harbaugh's success and has been for the last couple of years.
Okay, but what about before that with Joe Flacco?
What happened to Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens after that damn Super Bowl run?
I got you, but I'm just saying, like Joe Flacco.
Shit.
Joe Flacco was always a middle of the pack, upper tier quarterback.
Bro, John Harbaugh has been skating by, and they've been blaming everything on fucking Lamar Jackson, bro.
Lamar Demetrius Jackson.
Everything on Lamar Jackson.
A lot of blame.
What does the offense look like? Running Lamar Jackson into the fucking ground and shit like that. No, man, and before Lamar got there, I think they were talking about getting rid of John Harbaugh. Come on, man, John Harbaugh.
They literally said that if Lamar Jackson pop off, he can probably stay here longer.
Yeah, John Harbaugh,
and like
man.
you mentioned, that was the last gift Ossie Newsome gave.
Yep, and saved this man's coaching career. And and look what happened when Lamar went down last year. What they do?
Look what happened since Ossie Newsome left. What is that offense? That offense hasn't even looked remotely as explosive or versatile.
Ozzie Newsome's job was just to get the talent.
I know.
And he did
look
that.
at the talent that they've gotten.
Now, what was Harbaugh doing with it?
If you had an MVP,
nothing.
If you had an MVP quarterback, unanimous, first of his kind, you're not giving him weapons?
No,
he got weapons though.
What's his weapon?
Rashad Bateman.
Well, he has.
He just got it. He just got it, y'all.
Like that fit his game. Like his weapons are tight ends.
What's his game?
Duvernay.
The run game, like they
You think that's
all?
Do you think that's the best that we can see of Lamar is how he's been played so far?
No, I'll answer the question. No. And it's all because of John Harbaugh and that fucking OC.
Greg Roman.
Come on,
I've been
man.
calling for Greg Roman's head the last couple seasons.
Greg Roman's a different discussion. I agree with you guys there. Like he could be.
But John Harbaugh is in conjunction with that, bro. It's an old school. sometimes it's just your time to go, bro. You ain't supposed to be.
He ain't creative enough to get Lamar Jackson where he needs to be. I do agree with that, 100%.
Yeah, get him out of here.
I agree with you.
Go ahead.
Mike McCarthy, like this ain't not even. I have no idea why. Like it shouldn't even. Everybody's number one should have been.
I was surprised it wasn't.
Like I have no idea why he would stay on. If it's one of those things where they could go the Cowboys 12-5, or we can go 5-12, and it all depends on the coaching. Most penalized team in the league last year, 19 penalties in the first preseason game. The difference between a Jason Garrett or Wade Phillips and those coaches, their relationship with Jerry Jones was different. Mike McCarthy was brought in to win. Jerry Jones and his name? Garrett. Their dad, he had relationships together, so Garrett had a longer leash. It wasn't more so about winning.
Yeah, he was the backup quarterback.
Yeah, it was.
And he was a backup quarterback to Troy Aikman during the Super Bowl.
So yeah, naked pictures on both.
He still treats him like a son. Same thing with Wade Phillips. He was a favorite amongst the team, moved up from defensive coordinator through the middle of the year. So that's the difference in the situation why he pulled the rug on McCarthy so quick. McCarthy, complete opposite of Mike Tomlin when we're talking about culture, when you're talking about just watching them on Hard Knocks last year. Like nobody has bought into what this man is doing. Aaron Rodgers said it in Green Bay. You can tell when he interacts with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is not bought in with him. He's more bought in with Kellen Moore. I just think McCarthy is not good at what he was brought in to do. That's win football games. He doesn't have a good culture. He's not good at calling the plays like he needs to. He's out.
Kellen Moore ain't good either.
They're still on the fence. I ain't gonna ride with him. I just don't know.
The best coach on y'all staff
but also,
is Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn is a good coach. Another thing also, y'all mentioned that Sean Payton is out there. I think that Jerry Jones would do something different in the season if he knows I can have the opportunity to get a Sean Payton. So you're right about firing coaches during the season. He usually won't do that. Sean Payton is sitting out there though.
Sean Payton.
And if I can fire him and get Sean Payton.
Sean Payton reminds me of the Steve Kerr analogy one more time, because Steve Kerr had a chance to either coach the Knicks or Golden State. Sean Payton has a chance to coach the Chargers or the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
which one? I'm just saying, which one are you choosing between the two? If you had an open seat,
I'm taking the Chargers, 100%. But I don't think that their job would be open. Sean Payton not gonna have that opportunity.
If Sean Payton texts out tomorrow, hey, I'm moving to LA, I'm thinking about coaching again. What's the first place niggas thinking about? It ain't that. It definitely ain't with the Rams.
No, it's not. But
and would he not guarantee get that job if Staley, whatever? What the fuck is the nigga name? I don't think
Staley's that far along as y'all are saying, where the organization will replace him yet. Especially as much as gonna come.
What did y'all just tell me Payton when I talked about extensions?
Yeah,
and all
I ain't talking about the contract. I'm just talking about they still have faith in him. Like it's still early in his contract. You don't have faith in him. I don't think that they bringing in a.
He's the weakest part of their whole team.
Possibly. I ain't arguing that, but I don't think that that's a removable feature right now, especially for someone like if they think that I don't think that they could get. What's his name?
Sean Payton.
I don't think they could get Sean Payton. I think that the relationship that Jerry Jones has with him would be a reason for him to move quicker to replace him.
They already got agreement in place.
Yeah,
he
would replace McCarthy a lot quicker.
They just didn't
with
do
the
it.
Chargers, if you're talking about why I had to choose
tampering
between these two things, there's a lot more things that would have to happen for that Chargers job to come open before that Dallas.
I also feel like with Jerry Jones, my number one pick is Mike McCarthy, by the way, and this will lead to it. I also just think that Jerry Jones only want puppets. As much as he talks about winning, he also showcases more. His action showcase, he is all about control. So with Sean Payton, unless he's willing to be, I mean, we saw what he was like with somebody who could run shit with Jimmy Johnson. That nigga did not like that shit. And when Bill Parcells was there, that nigga did not like that shit either. Sean Payton got a mind of his own. Mike McCarthy does not. That's the reason why I don't see that marriage working, either long term or even just in general. But I think Mike McCarthy is in the hot seat because, again, it's the Dallas Cowboys, but also because he has a full cupboard, if you want to talk about it. He got a top 10 QB. He got a lot of stars on both sides of the ball. Got Michael Parsons and stuff like that, a young edge rusher / linebacker. So in a shitball division, Dak Prescott has the most favorable wins in this division probably the last 3-4 years.
Facts.
So that's a guarantee, 4 to 5 wins a season. Nobody else is coming into the season saying that shit, especially nowadays, especially with these divisions. Yeah. If they don't win a division, if they don't get to the divisional round, he's out of there. Point blank, period. I don't care if he wins the playoff. I don't care if he wins the division and even looks good in the playoff game and they lose. He's out of there.
Agreed. I agree with you because it's going to take.
Because last year was that leash that you were saying. Like last year was like, all right, let's see what we could do. We made the playoffs. We good. The way they lost to the Niners like that against Jimmy G, and then the next game Jimmy G over here.
And it was all season too. It wasn't just that game. It was decisions like that all season where you got a spike on that down during that time where you're not supposed to do that. You lead the league in penalties. It's just a bad culture.
And the worst thing about it is y'all came back in that game. You know what I'm saying? So it shows that y'all can compete.
But just not.
But y'all shoot yourself in the foot. So I think Mike McCarthy's number one. But I did have Matt Rule on my honorable mentions just because, again, you got two quarterbacks, you got no quarterback, and it's a quarterback-driven league.
All right, any super chats before we get out of here?
Do we have? I think we had one more.
Thought I saw something pop up.
Let's see what I missed. I think I got them all. If I missed it, let me know, please, real quick.
I could have swore I saw something blue pop up, but maybe it was a stick or something.
It might have because my phone went out for a second.
So next week, what are we doing?
Top 10 QBs.
We do have one. Joshua Jericho Polisak asked a basketball question. He said, for Kobe's birthday, what are y'all's favorite Kobe moment?
How you went out against Utah game, you know what I'm saying? At the beginning of the game, he was struggling. It's like, damn, man, Kobe gonna go out like this is his last game. One of the biggest things I remember from that game was how much them tickets were. Punch talked about it. Kendrick talked about it. It was like $20,000, $30,000 a ticket, on the floor. And, man, he just turned it on. He turned it on and made you remember why he's Kobe fucking Bean Bryant. You know what I'm saying? Even Kobe talked about it, how, like, his daughters were giving him some shit. Like, damn, bro, like, what you doing? And then he just turned it on. Like, goddamn, you ended up with what? And knocked that team out of the playoffs? To me, there's no better way to bounce if you're not bouncing out on top than how Kobe left in his last game.
For me, I'll just go real quick. It was the 2009 Denver versus Lakers playoff series. Of course, I'm a Melo fan, so I'm over here rooting for Melo, but you can just get caught up in the Kobe shit easily, bro. He can go from 0 to hero in your eyes just by like the fluidity of his game. So seeing like them goes to 6 games and shit like that, and him being like, I think that was the year that he also got his first title outside of Shaq. So just seeing all that shit was just like, yeah, this is one of the best to ever do it. So like that, from that playoff series moving forward, that's when my respect changed for Kobe.
It was a behind-the-scene moment for me at the Olympics when Kyrie tried to challenge him to a one-on-one, and Kobe kind of just like looked disgusted in him, like, how dare you even challenge me? It just like personified his, like, who he was as far as Kobe. And for a long time, I didn't like him for that. But as he got older, I started to appreciate him more and more for that. So that was definitely it. That's one of the things that turns the tides for me.
Mine was when Kobe played fourth quarter left-handed when he hurt his shoulder in that game. Mm-hmm. He hit three left-handed. He came out and played. And the fact that Vanessa did say that she asked Kobe, he was like, you hurt? What you doing? He was like, it's people paid to come see me play. Somebody spent their last to come see me. So I'm going to be out there. That to me is the will of a champion. You ain't got too many dudes with a heart like that. These
I don't.
Video game hands.
Shit, if I'm hurt, I'm hurt. Nigga. They paid for these seats before, regardless. Nigga.
Part of the game.
Yeah, they got 82 more of these motherfuckers. Come see me.
Yeah, I don't have one. I don't have a favorite Kobe moment.
All right. Yes, we are doing top 10 QBs next week from 10 through 1. You already know who I may have at number 10. But
10.
Nonetheless, we got top 10 QBs. And then we'll end before the season start. The week after that, we'll do divisional winners and our Super Bowl predictions. So
cool. Well, thank you guys for swinging through. Great stuff next week, man. Next 2 weeks, so make sure you guys don't miss it.
Tell them how they can become a member, Ken.
For everybody that's still here, just go to youtube.com/deadsports, hit the join button. It's somewhere on the mobile app. I don't have it in front of me now, but you can find it there. But yeah, that's how you do it. We'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Peace. I thought somebody was gonna say the 81 points.
Nah, that's the obvious one.
Cliche, yeah.
That's the cliche Kobe moment.
When he went out that last game, bro, I was watching. Damn, look good.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
It started looking real good, didn't it?
like that. He can't